Hey guys, welcome to Dark Knight Nation for our Avengers Infinity War review. Today's video will be pretty loose in terms of the structure. I figured that it'd be boring if it were just me chatting it up. So I have two guys here who are huge film and comic book fans, Devin and Tyson. Say hi guys.
Hey, what's up? I'm Tyson.
This is Devin. How you doing?
So these guys run a radio show based in Connecticut throughout the year. They'll be taking a break during the summer, but feel free to follow them on Twitter at whatever the show for pop culture discussions, including music, movies, comics, etc. Today's first episode of Movie Night is going to be a big one with Avengers Infinity War. For each episode, we'll do a brief discussion on the thoughts and reactions to the movies. If you're worried about spoilers, don't be. The first half of the discussion will be a non-spoiler talk, and we will give you all the chance to see it yourselves. Once we start moving into spoiler territory, I'll throw up a warning to give you guys a chance to back out and watch the video later. Without further ado, let's get the discussion rolling. So, what did you guys think about the movie? Devin, let's give it a shot first.
I really enjoyed it. I got to be honest. It was, I'm still a little bit in a shock kind of territory. I wouldn't be able to give it a grade, like 1 to 10 or anything like that. It's more so, like it's just it. It's one of those movies where it's like you know there's two parts to it. That you know that it's not gonna. I don't think this is necessarily a spoiler by any means, but it's not gonna end on a happy note. And it like you go down there and it's fully convincing and it's authentic.
Yeah. Tyson?
So it's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster, and I think a couple of things that my favorite things about the movie is that this is a third act. It's a third act to the whole. Like it starts at a certain place and it does not go below that place for the whole movie. There's also the fact that it's just an roller coaster. I mean, when you kind of know when you're going to this kind of movie that you're going to see certain things, but that doesn't make you ready to see certain things. Like I knew that I was going to see specific things going into this movie, and it doesn't make you ready for it. It really doesn't. Yeah. Like just so many things happen, and it's emotional. It's emotional. And again, the first 5 minutes, it starts and it's off.
Yeah, this movie really didn't have any sort of hesitation. Like
there's no you get brief moments of, and this is okay. Here's my hot take. Here's my thing. This is the people are gonna get mad at me for this. They are. This is the best use of comedy in a Marvel movie, in my opinion. Because you need it. Every time they made a joke, every time like you cracked a smile, I was like, thank you. I was like, thank you for giving me like this like breath. I needed this breath. Like, thank you. Like, it's so intense.
Yeah, see, I mean, I agree for the most part. I think that most of the comedy was well earned and it was well placed. Like I said, during the movie, there were some parts where, in the moment, I was like, it took me out a little bit. You know what I mean? But clearly, like, there was so much going on that there were only problems in the moment. Like, now that I've seen the whole movie, there was so much to observe and to kind of, soak in that I really don't care. Like, I don't think about it now. I just remember the only, negative side is I remember feeling that at one point in the movie. I don't remember what specific scenes made me feel that way. But, like, generally, the thoughts were well placed, and I loved, man, and I'm sure everybody did, getting to see these characters interact that had never interacted before.
Yeah,
like,
great point.
You know what I mean? Like, you get the introduction of the Guardians and the Avengers, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that's nuts, and then you have some interactions with characters who, in some ways, have similarities, but they butt heads, you know? Like, I thought these characters were well placed, fairly well written. Like, I don't think anybody acted out of character. So, like, kudos to the Russo brothers. Yeah. They did a good job directing these characters.
Specifically with the Guardians. I think
the Guardians, they captured the Guardians' voice.
Yes.
Like,
so even when they entered the scene for the first time,
I was going to say the same thing.
Wait, did we just switch over to a Peter Gunn movie?
Well, there's a point where I'm not going to spoil anything. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything. But there's a point where you flip, like, so you're with
on Earth, right?
Yeah, you're on Earth. You're with a certain set of characters for a while. And then it flips, and immediately you're like, "Oh, this is Guardians."
This
is Guardians.
Okay.
Just something like you flip, so you're like, just the tone is different. You're like, we're with the Guardians now. It's still intense, but it's like we're just with the Guardians now.
I think that's one of the interesting thing looking back on the movie. It's where everyone I think starts out tonally like they're all in their different little movie worlds.
Yeah.
And then you're watching them like muddle together.
There's actually similar.
It's like tone doesn't matter. Thanos is just gonna kill everybody.
There's a similar moment with Black Panther. I don't know if you guys caught it. But there's a little cue that before they say anything about it, and I was like, oh, Panther's coming. Like,
Oh,
Black
yeah,
Panther.
it's
There's
music. It's a
yes,
music
it's a music.
thing.
It's a little
They
it's a
switch it-
small musical cue.
Like when they switch over to the Guardians, there's a song playing.
yeah,
that,
well, yeah.
like, seems like
but the Panther one was very subtle, but it was just
There's,
like
like,
it was
the drums,
yeah,
I
it's like
think,
it's
or
like it's
something.
the Panther beat.
Well,
like,
I think one of the key things is obviously like you have a lot of different groups and a lot of different characters to kind of like blend into the movie. And I think one part that they really did justice on was like the soundtrack they used.
Yep.
The soundtrack
Like,
was great.
you know, like this, like big
Yeah.
orchestral piece, you're getting an Avenger. Like this classic,
Yeah.
like old school rock and roll. Like you're getting the Guardians.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get this cool, strange, like mystery. You're getting Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Like
It's-
the music, I don't think will get enough credit. But I think that definitely helped to progress the plot, the story, and keep everything in terms of like character introduction smooth. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't very abrupt, and even when the moments did obviously have like an impact, it was well placed because you're
Yeah.
like, oh my god, like this is
like
awesome.
this is happening. Like one of the things that I think people will criticize about this movie, that I didn't mind at all, is that this is not a movie this is not a movie where you spend time with the characters the way you do with other movies. This is also not a movie to catch up with characters. So like one thing I was excited for, but I understand why they didn't do it, is we haven't seen Cap in 2 years. It's been 2 years since we've seen Cap at all. This is not a let's catch up with Cap movie. Like it's just not. The pace is too fast for that. There's too many high level things going on. This is not a like let's hang out. Like so we just watched Age of Ultron today. Like the scene, you don't get a breath of fresh air like the table scene where they all go around and try to lift the hammer like that. It's so like so much more intense than that. Like
Imagine trying to sell Joss Whedon on this movie. He's like,
oh no,
I don't
Joss
get
Whedon,
any
that's brilliant. Actually, I
Wait.
don't think Joss Whedon could make this movie.
Do I get a scene where, like, this is Joss Whedon talking?
Yeah.
Do I get a scene where like all the guys come together in the middle of the movie and they're all like, let's just be wholesome and sit down by the fire and
Yeah, and
kumbaya
just like-
for,
Oh, but like
10
also,
minutes.
but-
It's like no, Thanos is
No,
just going to
it's
be
just wrecking
everywhere.
shit.
But like also,
messing everything up.
is everybody shooting a laser beam at Thanos at once, and you get this big explosion, and then in the aftermath they're all on the floor, and Thanos is still standing. Like I feel like that's like Joss Whedon logic. Like you know what I mean? Like they did it. They
Yeah.
did it in Age of Ultron when everybody's firing a beam at him, and he stands down, and then they stupidly let him get away. But this isn't a Joss Whedon movie. Thankfully.
We're getting some Justice League.
Because I think
some Justice League fire over here.
I think in particular, first off, I liked his I liked his use like what he was able to do with Justice League. I'm not a very pro what's his name
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder guy.
Yeah.
But besides the point, to get back
Zack
to this.
Snyder has never and will never touch a Marvel movie.
Yes,
So I think,
oh my
I think
God.
we'll be pretty safe. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. What was it? What was I talking about? Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon. How?
Oh, you don't get a moment. You don't get a
You
breath.
don't get a moment. So I think I'm thinking like with his logic, I think the way he views a movie is like it's about character.
We're just hanging out with these
interactions.
characters.
We're hanging out with these characters.
Yeah.
They happen to be fighting some
And this
people.
is the thing.
And I think this is like no, we don't need them to hang out. We need them to like.
This thing. We've already seen them hang out.
Like-
We've seen them hang out a
And we'll
lot.
see them hang out
And
later.
and we'll see them. Well, some
I
of
mean,
them.
some of them.
We'll
Like,
see some
depending
of
on.
them.
Well, I mean,
Not all those questions were answered in this movie.
No,
and some of them, and
there's a lot. I think the point is it's like they want us to just be salivating for a year. Disney, you sons. of-
Well,
really.
let's be thankful, like, because like we were talking about earlier before the show that each Avengers movie has had a 3-year gap.
And the thing is,
like
it feels, for me at least, it feels like a long time.
oh,
since
dude,
Civil War.
between Avengers 2, I honestly and I like you guys. I think you guys will agree with me. Civil War was an Avengers movie.
So okay, Civil War was
It was not a Captain.
Civil War is an Avengers movie.
as much as they
I have no problem.
As much as they brand
have-
it as a Captain America movie, that was an Avengers
I
movie.
have zero complaints about that.
I think
It is-
Tony Stark was as much as a co-lead in that movie as Steve Rogers was.
I'm still on record as saying that the best villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as to this point, is Baron Zemo in that movie.
I can
Where
see
it's
why.
like- it's like
he's
the most
he's top 4 for me now.
Top
he's-
four. Who's your so
Like I think the clear ones are Loki, Killmonger, Thanos, and
in that order?
No. I can't do orders now. I can't.
Okay.
I am not at that level.
That's
No,
good.
but seriously, I still like not to like talk about an old movie right now. Where,
Well, I mean,
Baron
it
Zemo
has
was
to
just
do with
like
Yes,
I think
that's an
that's
objectively
like,
great plan, and I like
I think
it a lot.
this is one of those things where I think a Baron Zemo plan like that would have just shown up in like a DC universe, and like Marvel's like, wait, what if we just did that really clever, like we're gonna turn everyone against each other thing here?
And like psycho assassins, but not psycho assassins. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
All right, so besides the Psycho Assassins, let's talk about the visuals. What did you guys think of the CGI? How they handled it with the, any prosthetics they might have had? I'm assuming it looked like most of it was CGI, obviously. Like, for me, I mean, everybody saw it in the trailer, so this isn't spoilers. The scene where he is with young Gamora, and she reaches to hold his hand. I don't know if it was in the trailer, or if you could notice the detail in the trailer, but my God, like, you could see the small hand, the hairs on his finger, like, the expression on their faces, like, they hit the CGI in this movie out of the park for me.
This might be a testament to how much, like, how good the movie is and how much it doesn't let you think about it. There was no point in this movie where I was still thinking about CGI. And that's the best testament I can give to it. There's no point where I was like, just gave visual effects a thought. I was all like, oh my God, what's gonna happen?
There were a couple moments where I felt things felt a little bit off, but in particular, the ones that I really liked was Doctor Strange's CGI animations. It was brilliant in the original Doctor Strange, and it was brilliant here.
Oh yeah.
There were some moments with Iron Man in his suit that like felt a little like when it like where it felt a little bit weird, or Iron Spider where it felt
yeah.
See, I kind of just
Spider-Man.
Iron Spider or Iron Man. Yeah. I mean, I felt different. I thought that like Iron Man looked so.
He did, but I think it was like the moving part, like not like him standing.
Honestly, I still don't love the way Iron Man looks. I know it's nitpicky, and it's totally not a big deal.
That suit looks so sleek. Like in the promo images, I was like, that's fine. Like it's just another suit. It
feels weirdly shaped to me. Which
I think it looks more organic.
Obviously, a stupid.
What I did like
point to bring up
was the way like Thanos has 2 Infinity Stones in the trailer, so that's what we
yes,
and you see him using both stones. Like
he uses. I'm pretty sure he uses every stone that he gets specifically, like, that was good.
And it's not like, oh, I just have now more power. No,
yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
I have individual
different powers. Yeah,
that's
a good
animation for that was
like
great
especially
too.
We shouldn't.
We'll go. There was the blue and we see the blue and the
purple in the trailer.
Yeah, he uses
so
both individually.
I'll make a point later when we're allowed to talk about spoilers, but yeah. Like,
yes,
definitely for sure. I mean, the thing is too. It was just like you. I think honestly, even though for this movie, you don't get a lot of individual character time. You know what I mean? Like you.
Yes, you really don't.
You get to dip
there
your
are
toes.
Moments.
There are moments.
You do have these deep moments, but for the most part, you get a lot of cool. Like, and I don't want to say vague because I think we go into more than just like a vague meeting with characters.
Yeah.
But like you don't oversaturate it with different characters so that everybody gets their time. And I think that was definitely a key point to the movie, was that I didn't feel like any characters were really left out.
Yeah,
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah, they were. I have a
Hawkeye?
list of. I have a list of characters that I will talk about later.
Devin went hard.
I have a list of characters that, in particular, one that I felt was just.
Go for it.
Okay, so Black Panther, Captain America, Bucky, Black Widow, Falcon, and War Machine. Those 6 characters.
Okay.
They were all like background.
Do that one slower. I'll comment on them individually.
Well, no. I'll go. I want
to hear
one
in
particular.
We can go into
Black Panther. Captain America. Well, Captain America had moments.
Here's the thing.
A little bit, but he was underused significantly.
Here's the thing.
But I don't think you needed to use him necessarily.
I agree. Cap is my favorite Avenger, tentatively. Here's the thing. We were talking about this in the car. Cap has no personal stake in this, the way Scarlet Witch and Vision do, or the way Gamora does, the way arguably Thor does. This is a professional thing for Cap. He has a thing because the whole world is dying, but he doesn't have.
I have to show up because the whole world is dying.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have the same visceral attachment to it the way other characters do.
Obviously, yes, that will lead to him being in it.
And I think that he will be much more central in 4.
But realistically,
more so because I think he won't make it out of that movie. But you know what?
But like realistically, besides Captain America 2, he really didn't have a huge emotional stake in any of the other movies.
That's true.
Like you think about the original Avengers, everybody's going to try to stop an alien invasion. Avengers 2, it's more Tony than anything. He's just trying to fix Tony's mess.
That's true. But
then you have Winter Soldier, where it's like his best friend is brainwashed, and he's like, I got to save my best friend. Arguably, he does in Civil War because Tony's trying to murder Winter Soldier. But like besides those two,
He's
he
my
really
friend.
doesn't have an emotional footing in any other movies.
But here's the thing: it's not so much like he wouldn't have moments. It's just that like he wasn't the character that deserved the moments the most.
Other characters deserve moments. Okay, and then I said Bucky, which
Bucky's
Bucky's just around and he just shoots
Bucky,
people.
that's
and
true.
Yeah.
He's like a big henchman. He's just like
because Bucky has a lot of stuff. There's a lot. Bucky might have the most baggage of any one character.
But they kind of unloaded it. Like
They did. They did.
Let me put it out this way. This is not a spoiler. Black Panther came out. What is it? 2 months ago? 3 months ago?
3.
It's one of the biggest movies ever. So
That's true.
if you're gonna call this a spoiler, I don't.
it's on you.
It's on you.
That's true. If you're still mad that you didn't see Black Panther,
Yeah. So in the end credit for Black Panther, like you're just like his baggage is like gone. Like it's not like it's gone, but like he's alleviated of any sort of repercussions that happen from his baggage.
you go for it.
I think that we will see more in a movie in which we will see him alone, or
with Falcon,
or with another character,
Yeah.
and where he will go into that a lot. And I think it's like, we're like Bucky's interesting and all, but he's had a lot of screen time. He's already had Captain 2, where you get a lot of emotional stuff. You have the first Captain America movie, where he's like grown up as friends with him. Like there's a thing there, and so we see him a lot, like in a lot of emotional moments. I think we'll just deal with it later. I think that's what it's
Marvel
gonna
is amazing at giving people their moment when it's perfect to give people their moment. Like they're just really good at that. Like Hulk doesn't need his moment now. It's a random example. Hulk doesn't need his moment now.
There's one in the cooker though right now.
There's
they
a Hulk.
set up an arc.
Actually,
for the
I
next
remember
movie.
reading around the time Ragnarok came out. I think it was Kevin Feige talking about like someone asked him when Hulk will get his own solo movie, and he was like, "I'm confident in the arc we built from Ragnarok to Infinity War Part 1. I think it was still called Part. No, it wasn't. But Avengers 3 and 4.
Yes.
Yeah. There's an arc in those 3 movies that's like good enough on its own. Like that is the Hulk movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do remember.
And they do that for a lot of characters.
Well,
Black Panther is gonna have a similar arc.
Without putting Hulk in another movie, what can you really do with him? Like his biggest villains are either Abomination or Thunderbolt Ross turning into Red Hulk, which we could get.
You know why? Because
we could get it.
The Hulk's greatest villains are himself. The
Yes,
true
that is
conflict
what it is.
of Hulk's character is him.
One of the biggest problems I have with the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Hulk as a character, where it's like, if they had to do it from the start, I don't think they'd introduce Hulk like as early. Like that would not be one of their central. And I'll explain why. Because he's like a guy where it's like he can never just be normal like Iron Man. He can't just like hang it up.
Like nobody wants to be Hulk.
Yeah, that's
nobody
the thing.
would want to be Hulk.
And
I'd be
where that
Captain
I think that
second. Nobody wants to be
fits,
Hulk.
that fits in
Yes.
some place where like a DC universe where it's
Wait,
like I don't want to do this
I'm
anymore.
Cyborg. I'm dark and
I
gritty.
don't. Yes. Like I didn't choose to do this.
Yeah.
Where in Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's like I'm making an active
doesn't-
choice to
it
do this.
doesn't fit.
I
Quick
put
pause,
on the
so
things.
Tyson,
Yeah.
You're saying you want to be Captain, so you're gonna step out on a lady for 90 years and just never give her the day.
No, I'm just saying if I had to, so it's less
70
so
years.
about the
70.
it's less so about the specific plot points, and it's more so about who Cap is. How Cap is Cap.
His characterization,
Cap
his
is-
power
we're not-
set, or both.
No, more so about
We
Steve
should-
Rogers.
Okay.
We're not leaving this island. We're not leaving this meteor until everyone's off. Like,
I think we
I
should
love that.
Get back to the
Sure, go
characters.
for
I
it.
think we missed off. I feel that we missed off a lot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man.
Falcon, where he was also kind of very similar to Bucky, where it's like he's just around there. He's just another henchman that has a face that we know.
I'm
and
not
we
gonna
recognize.
lie though, like pertaining to most of that list, who honestly wants a lot of Falcon screen time?
I'm not saying people want it. I'm just saying
Okay,
there were
yeah.
like you could have used them more, or you could have.
Yeah, but,
And
like,
I already spoke of Black Panther. Right, he just got his own movie.
But
Maybe
like,
we should
re-
do something with him.
realistically, like Tyson was saying about Cap, like what were the? And I get what you're saying. You're just making a statement that
Yes.
these characters weren't used as much as others. But like, I'm
not saying it's necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying like you might have had an opportunity there. You might not have. I
Well,
really don't
here's
care.
the thing that happened in this movie. We had 2 specific groups. I won't say who yet. There's people going off and doing things.
There's more than necessarily 2, but there's 2 specific trios.
There's like
I
plot
think, there.
lines that go on, and then there's kind of an everybody else. This is
Yes.
where everybody else is. This is what they're doing, and that story is important too. But it's not important because of who they are. Everyone else's story is this. Your story is important because you're this hero. Your story is important because this hero, and this is like where everybody else.
Now this is one character that I'm going to move on to the next one.
Sure.
Where I think he had actually a good amount of screen time, and I still think he was a little bit underused. I think War Machine. He had a surprising amount of screen time where you see, see him talking to what was it, General Ross,
Yeah,
right?
and so not Everett Ross.
Yeah.
No, not Everett Ross. Everett Ross is
it's Ross.
Everett Ross.
It's Ross. Yeah.
Who is
Everett K. Ross?
The guy that was from the original Incredible Hulk?
No, I understand.
Thunderbolt Ross.
Who is Martin Freeman in Black Panther? What's his name?
That's Everett K. Ross. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There are two Rosses.
Because there's Everett Ross and there's somebody else.
Thunderbolt Ross. And I don't remember his first name. But Thunderbolt Ross is the general who, in the comics, becomes Red.
I just realized that they're both called Ross.
Yeah. I mean, if we're wrong, sound off in the comment section down below. Let us know. Call us assholes.
Yeah.
Whatever you got to do, because I'm
totally a poser comic fan. I mean, I'm serious.
So continuing on War Machine,
I specifically disagree with your War Machine. I think he got the perfect amount of screen time.
No, I'm just saying. I think they could have done more with him.
I think he's just making a point that these characters, my statement was that everybody got an even amount of time. He's kind of just saying,
no one.
Even though we didn't need more character time, more screen time, we didn't get it.
Not everybody deserved. Everyone who needed it got it.
All right, and my last person, the person I actually had a weird problem with was the way they used Black Widow. I don't know what it was, but I don't think she actually spoke other than in the middle of conflict. And there's something weird there where it's like
Black Widow.
It seemed like she was just she was boiled down to a henchman. And I was like, she didn't have a line. She didn't have a line outside of a fighting.
I'm gonna give Marvel the benefit of the doubt. I think it's because they're writing the movie right now. They're writing the Black Widow movie right now. That's what I hope.
I don't think we're getting a Black Widow movie anytime soon. However,
they're writing it.
I do think. Well, they're playing around with it, but nothing's in production. It's a concept. But there's a lot of concepts out there. However, where I'm going with this is in part 4, based on what happens in this movie.
She will have more screen time.
She will have more screen time. But let's put it this way. I think in Avengers Part 4, the 4th movie, I think we're gonna get a little bit more of the OG Avengers.
Yeah, I think there will be somewhat of a flip. We that
was clearly purposeful. It's not like they randomly said let's select which characters we want to go forward.
I think we have a sect of characters that we focus on in this movie, and the next movie we'll flip
even movies previous, because we've gotten all these new intro movies to these brand new characters.
If you think about it, everyone else now has a reason. Bucky,
you can't.
I know. We'll get to it later.
We're very bad at this.
That's not a spoiler. I just said Bucky.
Okay.
That's not a spoiler.
So moving past potential spoilers, let's talk about the performances of the actors, who played these characters. Who, in terms of not necessarily the character, but who do you think gave the best performance in the movie, and why is it Josh Brolin as Thanos?
It was I got 2.
It was Brolin.
Actually, you know what? You guys already took Brolin. Brolin is obviously a standout.
I'm taking Thor. You don't get to have.
I wasn't gonna go Thor. Really? I was gonna go one moment, which I already talked about in the car. There's one moment in particular it's 15 seconds long where Tom Holland knocks it out of the park.
Yes, I agree with that.
There's one little tiny section that Tom Holland is totally functional throughout the whole movie, and there's one scene where he.
I'd agree with you. That's a good thing. I think that was a great standout performance or a great scene in the movie. But I think in terms of how well they performed as a whole,
I see what you're saying. Yes.
Here's the thing: Robert Downey Jr. I feel like you come to expect a certain.
Robert Downey Jr. is a known factor.
You come to expect a certain level of gravitas that Robert Downey Jr. is going to bring to the screen, and he's going to bring to Tony Stark. So it's he was great throughout the movie. So for anyone that's excuse my French, for anyone who's fuck you, RDJ is the best. Yes, he's great. We know that, and we're gonna have to disregard it because we know he's gonna be great.
He's not shiny and new.
So let's put it this way: he was great.
Shiny, right? Yes,
but
RDJ was great.
Josh Brolin as Thanos was fantastic. This movie was about if anybody was the main character, it was Thanos.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
absolutely.
I think they did such a good job at developing this villain that we didn't obviously didn't get to see Thanos almost at all. He was relegated to end credit scenes.
Oh yes, definitely.
For the last 10 years.
What, 10 minutes of Guardians, if that?
Maybe, if that. I don't even want to say that. Maybe
5 minutes.
5 collectively. Yeah. But they developed him really well.
And quick shouts out to Gamora and Nebula. Just pure, I call it acting heavy lifting.
Yes.
Nebula has one scene where I was like, that girl is acting. That girl is acting.
Even Gamora, I think just seeing her facial expressions during the scenes, it really carries the emotional weights.
Which I like. Gamora is, I think, one of the underused characters in the first two Guardians movies. I think Gamora has a lot more that they're not. I mean, I feel like they pegged her a little bit as just this is Green Black Widow. Here's your Green Black Widow. Like
I think in Volume 2, especially because they
Oh,
focused
yes,
so
well,
much on
definitely Volume
Star-Lord and
which is
his
cool.
origin. I think she was just relegated to Star-Lord's badass love interest.
Yeah.
Part 1, I thought she was phenomenal. I think that Part 1, every single one of those characters had like a great role. Like, but that's besides the fact.
Yeah.
Part 2, she just kind of supported.
She was Star-Lord's badass girlfriend.
Yeah, which is cool because we knew we were.
I want to add something about Thanos' Josh Brolin. Sorry. I mean, the point of the movie is Thanos, and to, not to spoil anything, it's like the idea of like humanizing him while still being like, yeah, this is the bad. We're not like, by no means are you turning into the good guy. We need to understand what you're thinking for us to get like where there's like, I don't know if
it's
I
similar
want,
to Killmonger.
It's like, yeah, I just feel I have to do this.
Which actually,
like,
Killmonger is more sympathetic. Killmonger, you're like, you're objectively right about this. You're just a terrible human being that's filled with rage.
But Tyson,
so let me
spoilers. I haven't seen Black Panther.
Let me continue my point. Let me continue my point
Yeah,
on,
go for it.
On Brolin's performance. There's this idea of like you see him at different like he's just sacrificing to get these stones to move past to move the plot. There's a reason for it, and I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to spoil it, but it's him being like, I have to give up more than every other person in this film.
The main thing stays the main thing. Thanos knows what the main thing is.
Yeah, so
he doesn't ever.
There is
doubt though. There is doubt. There's moments of like,
but he never falters.
Like, there's moments of where he's like, is this worth it? And then it's like, yeah, I've put so much.
I've come this far.
So we've had a good chat about Josh Brolin. We'll get more into it.
I want to talk about Chris.
Yeah, I was just about to say. So Devin did bring up Thor. I do agree that I think Chris Hemsworth had some great performances.
Yes. The best scene was between Rocket and Chris. And
I respectfully disagree.
And
that's a good scene, though.
That is my favorite scene. I'm not going to say what it was, but there is a scene between just Rocket and just Thor, and it is my favorite scene in this in that movie, and it's like Chris Hemsworth. There's not a single better moment of acting in that movie than that, and that by I think a long shot. There were some like opportunities where I felt they could have hit it, and they just didn't do it as well, and that scene hit it perfectly. And there was a perfect mix between where it's like it's getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and Rocket's trying not to get it that deep, and it's not working. And it's just like he's trying to like lighten up a little the scenario a little bit, and it's just like nope.
See, I don't blame you for that. I don't think it was my favorite scene in the movie. It was fantastic.
I have no problem.
Yeah, we're all gonna have our own.
Yeah. I just think that's the scene where I'm like, okay,
I think
this
you're
movie
definitely
means
correct.
something.
But I think as a whole, throughout what we've seen in this movie, I think Thor and Rocket had great chemistry.
Thor and Rocket had great chemistry, and it's interesting going into this movie. I was like, well,
Rocket Raccoon, like what's he gonna do?
No, going into
he was one of the most important characters. It's gonna be for no good reason.
Yeah. you just pitch Avengers and Guardians. I'm like Rocket and Tony. Rocket and Tony's gonna be the thing.
Or Star-Lord and Tony.
I thought, yeah,
Star-Lord, Tony, and
Well, I'm just saying, before you see trailers, before you see who's paired up with what, I would just assume Tony and Rocket. Well, I'm sure we'll get that. I'm sure we'll get to that. But like, Rocket.
No, I think we're gonna. I mean, we got some pretty. Just generally, honestly, without going too far into depth for this non-spoiler part of the review or the discussion, whatever. I think that we're just seeing the Guardians meet the Avengers was just like, you got it.
I think they did it in the perfect way. I'll go more into that in spoilers, but I think they did.
So now that we've gone over, does anybody want to talk about like any specific characters or like performances in the movie?
When we get to the spoiler section, I have a list of characters that I want to go into where I rank from 10 to 1. I hate ranked lists, but I think this is one where I was like, okay.
This morning we had a.
Okay, I have a thing against ranked lists, but this one I felt like there are characters that are very important that need to be recognized.
Right, cool.
Okay.
And so
just as a quick preemptive, who's your number one? Who's your most endearing?
Thanos by far. Like Thanos is the right answer. It's Thanos' movie. It's about like watching Thanos.
I agree.
Do his thing.
I agree. We're gonna put that on hold until the spoiler part so that we can just finish up this portion of the
Anything
interview.
else that we want to do?
Complaints.
Complaints. I think I hit. Did I hit all my complaints? So my these are obviously tiny nitpicks.
Yeah.
that
I feel
are
like-
just the personal things.
I
for
feel
me.
like most things that you have to poke into this movie are fairly nitpicky.
And they're also
and especially considering the fact that they handled how many heroes? Was it like 30?
so many,
Like
So
30.
many.
Yeah.
too many,
Yeah.
too many for it to be that good.
30 plus.
Too many for it to be that
30
good.
plus, a potential cameo, that we saw in the movie.
Yes.
But that we'll go into later.
So my tiny nitpicks were Cap, but I understand why. Totally understand why Cap just didn't.
Like Cap wasn't being used that often.
Yeah, and then which is
talked about
here's my
that.
thing. It's like in other Avengers movies, we had like little moments where we're like, "That's Cap." We didn't really get. We got one.
Not his movie.
We got one which you saw in the trailer, and that's totally cool with that. My other complaints were. Oh, my other complaints are spoiler. One is very spoilery, and I'll get to that later.
Okay.
And the other one was just that it's very important that this is the first Marvel movie I think ever that you cannot just go into and have a good time.
Go for it.
Let me go. Okay,
Yeah.
so my big missed
And
opportunity.
that,
This is
just to make it clear, that's not a drawback for me at all. I've been waiting for this moment where it starts and goes. And there's no
Well,
explanation.
It rewards you for 10 years of
Yeah,
watching these
and
movies.
so for someone who's I don't know, I don't think you'd be watching this and have not seen all of the Marvel movies. But like I think this is the one where you
If not most of them.
need back. Yeah,
Well,
you need
let's
backstory.
let Devin
yeah,
go.
sorry.
so I would, and this is a spoiler. I'm gonna jump the gun on a spoiler really
No,
quick.
you can't jump- you can't
I
jump.
will. Trust me, you guys will have no problem with it. The big missed opportunity was with the post-credit scene. I really wanted. I can't go.
Okay, yeah. Okay, gotcha.
All right. Okay, so I had this kind of running gag all day where I was
Yeah.
like, Ghost Rider, Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider is just gonna pop up at the end post-credit scene randomly for no good reason, and it's just going to
And
be
that'll be the
brilliant.
savior of the movie.
Savior of the movie.
Yeah.
Like post-credit scene, the entire Avengers 4 will be named Avengers 4.
Ghost Rider.
Like, and that didn't happen, and I'm very mad. I'm very mad.
That's your.
I'm sorry, spoiler alert. I'm sorry, spoiler alert. Ghost Rider is not in this movie.
All right, guys. So that's pretty much going to be the end of the non-spoiler portion of the discussion. If you need to blink out now or add this to your watch later list, feel free. We're going to throw up a spoiler warning in the visuals for post-production so that you guys know, when we're transitioning. If you're skipping through the video, I hope you enjoyed what you saw so far. Hopefully, if you need to cycle out before you come back for the spoiler review, you come back, watch the rest of it. Let me know what you think. Shoot us a comment down below. If you want me to have these guys back for more discussions, sound off, let us know, leave us a like, okay? Alright, so let's get started on the spoiler portion of the discussion. I think we should get moving with maybe some of the story elements or the plot that we want to discuss. Do you guys have anything in mind?
I would like to express a general feeling of, oh my god, so much happened in this movie. I don't know where to start talking about all the stuff that happened.
There is a lot of
Like,
this movie
just so much happened.
to absorb.
Okay, so I would like to say that I totally called it. Loki's gone. Like 5 minutes into the movie.
Oh my god.
Like, so how granular do you want to get?
I think
do
it's
what you gotta do.
So I like literally from the first, like the opening title screen, Marvel thing. The movie is up here. Like you're at a 10 of intensity from the first thing you hear.
Well, go to Thor. At the end of Thor 3, you see Thanos.
Yeah, you see Thanos' ship. It opens on that, and it doesn't let you go.
oh my god.
Well,
Like-
no, it doesn't open on that. What it opens on is like 20 minutes later.
Yeah,
after
20
they've
minutes
killed
later.
everybody.
They've
yeah, it's like
everybody.
to put it in layman's terms, 20 minutes later, the Asgardians are boned.
Are done.
Like,
Done.
Done. So Ragnarok happened. It just happened at the beginning of
like
Avengers.
the most tragic death in the entire movie occurred off screen. Korg is dead.
I was like,
Korg, yeah.
I turned
Korg is
to
dead.
Trevor like when that happened. I was like, Korg is dead.
They just
Oh,
killed
God.
Taika
Taika
Waititi. Okay, first of all-
Taika Waititi like made all these like fun characters, and they're like,
You're
no,
like, you're
they're
gone.
dead.
You're gone.
They're dead.
Taika,
Okay.
you know Taika Waititi was Korg, right?
Trevor,
Yes.
we didn't see a body. He's still out there.
Oh my god.
We
He's
didn't-
like Phasma. He's still alive.
We didn't see a body. He's just a collection of rocks that will come together. He's like Dr. Manhattan, like a collection of rocks that will just come together when we need him most.
Oh
Like,
my god.
Yeah,
It'll-
so they enter on
Korg
the
is just-
ship is just like
It's
obliterated, like
decimated.
in half. Like everyone's dead. There's a couple people still left alive.
So, like-
in particular, Thor, Loki,
Heimdall.
and
And
Heimdall. And then they just like kill Heimdall.
and so here's the thing.
and Hulk's still there. Like
This is the thing. This is how big this movie is. That crazy stuff happens, and then you completely
You
forget
forget
it.
about it. Like,
So,
they killed Heimdall.
when you just said that, I was like, oh my god, Heimdall's dead.
He can
like,
be Jon Stewart now. Just
he can
saying.
be Jon Stewart now. Like things like that happen where you're like, oh my god, that's crazy, and then the next 30 seconds they top it. Like the next 30
Well,
seconds, they
oh, so-
don't
so
give you.
you-
Oh
so-
my god!
yeah,
you know what
let's-
they need to make? Let me
Go
interrupt
for it,
you
yeah.
really quick. You know what they really need to make is someone like to take a video of like the end of Thor 3 and then like dun dun, like the car music comes in, and it's just like the post credits.
Like it's just
Right, and you're like,
they've done a lot of those animated shorts.
that will be a thing. That will be on the internet. I will see that soon.
We will definitely see.
So
that.
yeah, they kill every single Asgardian.
Every single Asgardian.
Everyone's dead. They kill Heimdall. Loki tries to kill Thanos. Thanos gets killed. Or
before
not
that
Thanos
happens,
gets killed.
let's discuss this. Hulk gets his ass beat.
His ass.
Yes, and that becomes a reoccurring thing where Hulk can't get it up anymore.
Hulk literally can't
Hulk
get it up anymore.
needs some Viagra.
Hulk does need
Yes.
Viagra. You need Hulk Viagra. Shuri needs to make some Hulk Viagra.
Oh my
Thanos
goodness.
beats Hulk so badly that that's part of his arc. Like the arc of Bruce Banner is like Hulk won't come out and
will
like.
come out.
Like, you guys need Hulk.
You know,
Hulk isn't here.
Hulk is not gone.
Hulk does not,
Gone.
like, Hulk will show up for
And
like 3 seconds in
I
his
would
face and be
say
like, no.
The visuals
And then
of
go
that,
back.
of him like turning green look
Oh
great.
my god.
Yes.
Well, besides that, is like the fight was awesome.
The fight was awesome.
Even thinking about, fight choreography as much as it is because they're digitally produced.
Yeah.
So whatever, we'll call the fight choreography.
They're not all digitally produced. Like,
Well,
a lot of
they're
that is-
the people
They're wearing
there.
mocap.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Motion capture,
but,
yes.
Yeah. So okay. So whatever. The fight scene between Thanos and Hulk was nuts. And the thing that I think I appreciated the most was, as much as it was just like a knockdown, drag 'em out fucking fight for the most of the part, Thanos was precise.
Yes.
Like, you watch him fight, like Thanos knows
And
what he's doing.
And I love that there's a moment where he comes out of the Hulk is a surprise. The fact that Hulk is still alive is a surprise, and he comes out. And you're like, oh, he's winning, like he's a match for him. And then like one of the guys is like, he's toying with him, and literally at that moment he's just
let the master have his fun.
and he snaps, and you're just like, wow.
Well, dude, like quick, totally irrelevant comic connect for anyone that's read into any this classic DC Comics book. You know what that reminded me of? Dark Knight Returns. Bruce Wayne versus the mutant leader.
Oh, okay.
Hulk is the mutant leader. He's beating his ass at first with all this brute strength, but then he's just like,
boy,
you just gotta
I am
think
a
it
surgeon,
through.
and this is my table.
And
like,
this is my, God. Speaking of Viagra, that's it. So, but yeah, and then you just have Thanos like precisely beating down the Hulk to where he can't get it up. This man's taking off his belt. That's the whooping.
Like
that.
Just from a theoretical level, like a storytelling level, that's terrifying. That's by far the strongest character we've been introduced to in this universe.
Yeah,
physically strongest.
And Heimdall was like high key, like the MVP. Like with
the last ounce of his strength, he sent him to Earth.
He uses
Hulk to Earth.
He uses the power of I don't know how he did it because he doesn't have access to the.
No,
Bifrost.
he just like uses like his own.
Oh yeah,
remember
he's like using dark magic to send like Thor to Earth again.
Oh yeah,
that kind of
so
thing.
he brings Hulk down to Earth so Hulk can warn the Avengers. So obviously Loki tries his trickery, which was kind of cool. Like you knew things were gonna go down, and he's bowing to Thanos, pulls out the dagger, Thanos catches him, and it's just like, oh my Lanta.
Yeah, I think as soon as he has, so there's a moment where Loki is like, I'm going to join you. You need a person.
Like, they're doing this again.
And then
you're like,
he glances at Thor and goes like, what does he say exactly? He's like, I'm Loki of Asgard,
son of Odin.
Son of Odin. And they have a moment, and like I forget which one of you guys I turned to. I was like, Loki's gone. Loki's gone. It's over.
Yep. And then Thanos just chokes him.
It just chokes him. It's not pretty. That's the thing. Deaths in this movie are not pretty. They're just literally just.
Yeah, it's a death. Like it does.
So we're 5 minutes in. 2 people are dead. and not even counting the Asgardians that are all.
2 major characters that we love are gone.
3. Korg is dead.
Korg is dead. 3 major characters are gone, and it looks like Thor's like in bad shape. I mean, clearly you see the trailers.
He's got the Taika Waititi beaten out of that motherfucker. He's done. That was a crazy one.
And then the title goes, and you just don't even know what to think. Like literally, this movie is like going on a roller coaster. Like you just don't even know. Like
that movie is like a roller coaster that doesn't have that build up before the drop.
Yeah,
it just fires you
starts.
off.
And here's the thing: like throughout this whole movie, like you're like 30 seconds away from having an emotional breakdown. Like just the whole movie, you're just on like sitting on the edge.
And then they give you like this nice little joke, and you're like,
oh, it's gonna be better. God. Like Drax is here. Oh, Drax is here! Like, oh god.
You know what the funniest part was, dude? I used to love WWE as a kid, and Dave Bautista, who plays Drax, was like one of my favorite wrestlers. So I was just like, oh, like that's not part of my life anymore. I'm not like a wrestling fan really anymore. I don't watch it. I don't pay attention. It's like Dave Bautista is Drax, and he's funny as shit.
Yep.
Like
he's great.
For me, comedically, he steals the show. Like his motivations, are there obviously because if you've seen Guardians, which you probably have, Thanos killed his family.
Yeah.
But like that's not the thing that really pushes him to the forefront of the
Yeah.
movie in terms of his performance.
It's his comic relief.
It's his comic relief. Like he's funny as shit.
Actually, if we're doing things underused, that's my one complaint is that Drax is. You could have had a better. Do you see? Yeah, there's pretty
Well,
much
you thought
one.
thought Drax was gonna die,
I did think. I totally thought Drax was going
and
to
I
die.
was just like, no, he's not dead.
There's pretty much one line that references his family. Like, there's one line when they first...
There's a couple times where he just wants to just jump in. And, like, he's
Yeah.
like, we're going... Wherever
and
Thanos is, I'm going
and it's
there.
a nice...
I'm killing him.
So, not to bring up an old movie again, so I never had a problem with Uncle Ben not being in the MCU, not being explicitly stated because there's a scene in Civil War where...
We've seen it so many times.
Yeah, that too, but there's a scene in Civil War where Peter Parker goes, when you have this power, when you have this, and the bad things still happen, they happen because of you. And in that moment, I have Uncle Ben. Like, I have it. I have everything that Uncle Ben imparts. Like, you have that. Like,
there's just, at this point in pop culture, there's some things you don't need. A,
That's
Uncle
true.
Ben, and B, you don't need to see Thomas and Martha Wayne die.
You really
like, we know they get shot in an alley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the... I digress. We'll get to that some other time.
But
I'm sure.
I didn't think that I think he has two lines about his family. I didn't think that line quite encapsulated everything, but it's a big movie.
There was a lot to cover, and like we were saying before, generally I think the three of us agree that every character that needed
a moment got a moment.
needed a moment and needed their screen time got their screen
Yeah.
time. Like I didn't care, sue me. I didn't care that I didn't get a lot of Falcon time or I didn't get a lot of Black Widow time.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I got Tony time.
Mhm.
I got Spider-Man.
You got Doctor
I
Strange
got
time.
Doctor Strange. I got the Guardians. I got
So much of Wong. Wong was standout role. Wong was
Wong
through
was-
so much of the movie. Just like his arc from beginning to end is amazing. Just incredible. Wong.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I
Wong
love
was
it.
there like a big part of like the first like 30 minutes.
30?
He's like, I'm out.
No, not even that.
That not even
Like 20 minutes, and then he's just like, I'm gonna leave.
I'd give it 50.
Fine.
Yeah, he blinks out. He's like, oh, I gotta
Like
watch
so.
the.
Well,
Wait,
should
I'm
we
not
get?
actually a movie star. No one knows who
I'm
I
out.
am.
I'm out.
I'm
So
gonna leave now.
my question for both of you, because I'm assuming, well, I know neither of you have never read Infinity by Jonathan Hickman, where some of this came from, or a good portion of like the content for this story came from. What did you guys think about Thanos' Black Order? How, for someone who's
I thought
never read
they
the
were-
comics, how did they what impression did they leave?
I thought they were cool. I thought they were intimidating.
I like the fact that they were all unique.
Yes,
They were all
and
like this.
and they were like intense.
They were
when
like-
they
yeah.
showed up, I was not cool. I was not okay. Like when
I'd also say-
specifically what seemed to me like the main
editing
one.
wall.
I think
The guy who put spikes in Doctor Strange's
no.
face.
Who I think he's the one that's supposed to be the intimidating one.
Yeah.
Which he died in a kind of a lame way a little bit.
I think they all did.
Yeah, that's true. But the not so like the
Corvus Glaive.
Corvus Glaive. I liked him.
The
I
one that
liked
looked
him
like
a
a
lot.
scroll.
Yes.
They got that cut into.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
you
I
get two
was a
moments.
big
You get
fan
two
of
moments
him.
with him. Here is one of my small complaints about the movie is combat strength was very inconsistent, even throughout the movie. 'Cause
Yes,
hear me-
Black
hear-
Widow is like going
hear-
head to head
yeah,
with these people.
so you're telling me Vision, who killed or
Vision, I feel like was underpowered.
yeah, Vision blew Ultron up. Someone that the Avengers. Hold on.
He
Vision,
was always injured though. Like
He was always injured.
no,
he
not
was-
at the beginning.
Yes, he was. He got initially
stabbed.
just
He got
stabbed through the chest.
Yeah,
He got
that's
stabbed.
true.
Okay, I'll give you that. But okay,
That was
so at some point, Black Widow stops these massive destruction machines, like rolling across these plains in Wakanda. But like, she can't stop Proxima Midnight or Corvus Glaive at all. Like, she does almost nothing.
Who does?
Well, her and
Charlotte Witch.
Yeah.
her and
And all of a sudden, you're telling me Black Widow is gonna like
Go head to head.
go head to head when Scarlet Witch.
There was usually in most cases where she went on. There was like a second person, like Cap was
well, yeah,
around. Like,
or
distract
oh,
her.
God, why am I forgetting the name?
the other
main-
one, the main. Yeah.
Corvus Glaive.
No,
No.
the main woman, the Wakanda. So Denai.
Oh, Okoye.
Okoye, yes, like
I'm
Okoye
terrible with
was.
names.
I loved that moment when Okoye and Black Widow teamed up on.
That was what you get, dude. That was awesome. There was like these two badass women.
Yeah,
like, and the thing is, with me, like I am all for representation in movies, films, comics, whatever. But like, I feel like it needs to be organic, and those felt fucking organic.
Yeah.
Like you just get these two badass women, like having to knock them down, drag them out, fight. like on the field, like on this big battleground in Wakanda.
Should we go?
I think before we go any further, I think we should just go through the entire plot.
Well, I was thinking
very
very
quickly.
Yeah, do you want to
Okay,
go linear?
so-
very, very quickly, a
So-
linear plot. Because what we were just talking about in Wakanda happens at
way
the end.
later.
So,
Okay, so-
we start. Let me recap. We
Yeah.
start on the ship. The what
The
is-
Asgardian ship.
the Asgardian ship.
Yeah.
Of course,
They
yeah.
kill everyone except for Thor. Makes it out alive. They blow up the whole ship.
Just
Thor
and Hulk.
and Hulk are the only two survivors of that
Yeah.
place.
I don't know. I think we didn't see Korg die. So
We
I
didn't.
think
We didn't
Korg-
see a body.
Korg,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
see
We'll,
about it.
we'll move past
Then
that.
we go to
We then
Tony?
go to Earth. We
Yeah.
go to Tony on Earth, and
Who is
and
planning his marriage with Pepper?
planning his marriage with Pepper.
Pepper Potts.
Hulk goes through the sanctum.
That's not the first thing that happens.
Yeah,
though.
that's the first
Yeah,
thing. Yes.
Hulk comes
Oh,
flying.
you're
So
right, you're right.
Hulk meets up with not now it's Bruce Banner meets up with
Yeah.
Doctor Strange and
And
Wong,
Wong.
and they have a little thing and they're talking about like the whole Thanos is coming, and then they go and they get Tony. And they bring him into the loop.
Just before we move on, I will say, the interactions between Tony Stark and Dr. Stephen Strange were awesome.
I think we can get back into that in like
Yeah, I just
you're
want
touching
to
on
bring
it.
that
yeah.
up. Those
Yes,
two.
we'll get
meetings
back
were
into
great.
that.
But keep going.
And then from there, a ship of Thanos and some of his disciples we just spoke of earlier.
No, I don't
The
think
name-
Thanos
Black
was there.
Order.
No, some of
The
the
Black
disciples,
Order.
the Black
Yeah,
Order
yeah.
shows up.
The Ebony Maw and that big, unforgettable, bulky guy.
You mean forgettable?
Sorry, yeah, forgettable, bulky guy that was in Infinity that got his ass beat by the people of Wakanda. I digress. But yeah, so basically it was the Ebony Maw and this big bruiser.
Yes, and they show up in a ship to go get the Infinity
The Time
Stone, the Time Stone that Doctor Strange has
Yeah.
in the eye of Agamotto.
Agamotto, yeah.
Agamotto. And then basically they go to fight
Yeah.
against these people,
And kind of get their
Spider-Man
asses-
shows up,
Yeah, Spider-Man.
and they all are getting their ass kicked.
Yeah, like just
And
like literally not like nothing.
to the point in which Doctor Strange gets captured
Yeah.
and brought aboard the ship, and then both Iron Man and Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
get aboard that ship as it flies off into
One
space.
key part, man, while they're up on the ship, we finally, after the teaser in Homecoming, get to
Yeah.
see Peter and the Iron
Iron
Spider.
Spider.
Yep.
I saw the first time we saw it in the end of Homecoming, I was like, oh, that's cool. He had that motherfucker on. I almost nutted in the middle of the
There
field.
are some moments. So, like I mentioned earlier, that we talk about a lot of things, and it doesn't make it like not awful when you see them. The reverse is. So I knew the whole time you were gonna get the Iron Spider.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Still, when he gets the Iron Spider, you're like, oh, he got the Iron. Fuck yeah, I got the Iron Spider. Like,
Yeah.
like that's awesome. Like like it has those moments. There's a bunch of moments that happen in this movie. Some of which you don't.
And I will say, barring that fight, since we're talking about that part in the plot, I thought all of that cool gadgetry that Tony had. Let me put it this way. He said it was nanotech. For all of you comic book fans out there, it was the Extremis armor. There's no question. The technology that he had those cool like plasma rings come out of his suit and
Yeah.
start like firing off on him, and then like you see more later in the movie when he fights Thanos. Spoilers, but like it was badass. I thought his suit, like after 10 years of being Iron Man, like he's gotten better.
All right.
So they move on from there. They switch
Go to
where
Guardians next, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, what happens is Peter Parker
And
Iron Man
and
are
Doctor
trying to
Strange.
rescue Doctor Strange on board a ship
And
that's in space.
Wong
just like, I'm going back to this.
fucked out to Fiji. Like
yeah.
he was like, I'm done. I'm all good.
You know,
I'm
he's
gonna
ba-
go
He's
away.
got to go to the sanctuary because
gotta
now
go
the
to the
Time
sanctuary.
Stone has been taken with Doctor Strange. So
So
continue.
from there, it moves to the Guardians, where the Guardians
Are
come
answering the
across
call from the Thor ship.
from Thor's ship, and they
Yeah.
come across Thor. They meet Thor,
Yeah.
and then they split up into two separate groups. One to go get an ancient weapon, which is
Thor, Rocket,
Stormbreaker.
Spoiler alert! It ends up being Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
Where Thor is clearly extremely shook.
And I
at
think
the-
you go
like,
into your
We'll talk about that specific moment later when we
Yeah.
get to it. And so
in the
this
words
is
of Thor, he hath been shooketh.
so it's him, Rocket Raccoon,
And Groot.
Groot. So
Yeah.
Thor, Rocket Raccoon, and Groot go to get this
This
Stormbreaker,
weapon, yeah.
which eventually gets revealed to be Stormbreaker, while the remaining Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy go to Nowhere, which we see in the first Guardians
Guardians.
film, to retrieve
so
one of the Infinity
which-
Stones from the Collector.
Which, if
Yeah.
people don't know what Nowhere is, it is the home of the Collector.
Yeah.
Who at what is it? The post-credit scenes in that movie that you see, he
Thor-
has the stone.
Yeah.
They-
We also
he is
see him in
given-
Guardians. Like
Yeah, he is given the Infinity Stone.
yeah.
So
then
that
we
was
get-
that. So that's just a quick update for those of you who don't remember. Continue.
And so we'll split
Did
it
you,
off from
did
here.
you write out the?
No, I didn't. I'm
Okay.
just, like looking
All right.
down at my paper like this.
So what happens next then?
They go. Well, it kind of switches. So it basically follows these 3 plot lines.
Yeah.
And
then-
then
and then-
fourth.
It's
And then
kind,
you have-
it's kind of like The Last Jedi, but every story actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
How-
And then you have the other, so basically everybody else, which is like Cap and Black Widow. And,
Specifically, the Scarlet Witch Vision.
Yeah,
part,
Vision.
Where
Yeah.
they are the most important
Oh, we
part
didn't
of the
go
people that
into
are on
that.
Earth. We
Like,
have
so-
not talked about
Yeah,
them.
so they're hanging out in
They're AWOL.
Yeah,
in
they're
France or
France,
something. I don't know.
France. And they're basically, which is another scene that like took your breath away. Was they're like they've gone AWOL, and then one of them is heading back. I didn't actually catch who. Like Vision is like, I'm gonna go back.
No. Vision says, "I want to stay forever."
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
right,
want to
right.
be with you.
Basically, like
They make that romance work, even though it hadn't worked in the past.
they're getting
And
super coupley, and then out of nowhere, Corvus Clay just stabs
them.
Vision in the back, and it's another moment where it comes out of nowhere.
Nowhere.
Like, you're having this emotional romantic
Like,
moment,
they are going for
and
that
it's just
stone.
like, oh, like just out of
Just-
nowhere.
Just saying.
This movie, you don't feel safe during this.
Not
movie.
to get super like corny, I thought Vision was going to propose to Wanda.
I thought so too. It was heading there.
Yeah.
It was heading there.
So yeah, and then they fight through the streets, and then
And then Cap shows up.
Cap,
which was,
Black Widow, Falcon, and that's
Yeah,
it.
Cap
And
Widow
while
was
we're here,
fucking-
let me just say, I think that was Cap's best scene in the movie. Obviously, he
when-
stole the scene. Like
when-
you see
yes.
the train.
When you see the train, I
you
was
see
like,
this figure,
Cap,
like this silhouette, and we're
Cap,
just like
Cap.
Captain America. Like let's get it.
Oh my God, it's Cap. Like I was. You just have moments like that in this movie, where like more so than I think any other Marvel movie, you're just excited, just excited.
So yeah, what happens next time?
So what happens next? Okay, so it splits off to the storyline. So now you have these 4 storylines going,
Yeah.
which is Tony,
Tony
Tony.
and
Tony and Peter
Spider-Man,
Parker.
yeah.
And so what? So we'll start with that one really quick, where they go and they rescue from the what's the name
From
of
the Ebony Maw.
From the Ebony Maw. They go and rescue.
Who was
away.
badass, by the way?
Yes.
Just saying, like
He was
the
good.
Ebony Maw.
the torture scene
looked
that you see.
great.
in-
He was the most powerful guy.
Oh, yeah,
and
the
then-
Ebony
by
Maw.
far.
The Ebony Maw. They definitely made a point of being like this guy.
Although I will say
is
his
the
death
queen
scene
of the
is well thought out. I thought it came early. Like
Here's my disclaimer about all the death scenes. I thought that all of the when each member of the Black Order was killed, I thought it was all like, well, they found an opportunity, like a really quick one, and
Yeah.
they
just
just
took
took
it.
it. They
They're
just
like,
took
done.
it, and it was just this quick thing. I
Because-
kind of wanted to see like a hard fought battle.
But I don't
where
think
I
it's
see
about
that.
them.
But this movie is about desperation.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
about
It is
that.
desperation, but like,
It's
I
literally
would
They
have
do not kill him like in a manly way where they like slay him. No,
No,
they
could like pop a hole in the ship and he flies out.
I
Like,
would have
the
whole thing.
I would have liked one. I mean, at least wait. How did Corvus Glaive die again?
I think just somebody
gets-
killed him in the end battle.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Because I know that the Big Bruiser got killed by Banner.
Yeah.
And then you have Proxima Midnight getting killed by
Scarlet
Witch.
Black Widow.
Yeah.
By Scarlet
And
Witch.
Scarlet Witch,
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have the Ebony Maw being killed by Tony
And Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Peter Parker.
and Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Well, kind of.
Well, Doctor Strange
Doctor
is getting
Strange.
rescued.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
being rescued, and we get to see some badassery via the Iron Spider suit.
Yes.
And also, so that's really when the dynamic between Doctor Strange and Tony heats up.
That
And
They're-
Peter Parker being
and
like the guy, but
the-
like those. That's a trio.
the
That works
chemistry
really well.
between Downey and Tom Holland, or Iron Man and Spider-Man,
And Benedict
was
Cumberbatch.
great.
Yeah. Oh, and those.
I mean,
those
Yeah,
two,
well,
yes.
yeah, but like
the one that was previously established in Spider-Man.
You
Homecoming.
have
Yeah.
the 3 of them, but then you have these sub relationships between the characters. Like what you expect from Tony and Peter, Peter being Spider-Man, Peter Parker,
Yeah.
was great. You very much had that mentor-mentee relationship,
Yes.
and we'll go into it later towards the end of the film where you have this very sad, very heart-wrenching moment. Like
Yes.
you know that everything's gonna kind of be okay eventually.
Yeah.
But like you're just like,
It doesn't stop you from
oh
feeling
my
it in that
god.
moment. Yeah.
And then at the same time, like I was saying earlier, the egos between Tony and Doctor Strange kind of collide,
perfect.
and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of, although they both have their egos, they're both on like 2 different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Where Tony having gone through all 10 years
Yeah.
of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all the weight that carries with it. And as they explore in Iron Man 3, he now has PTSD due to what occurred. So he has a little bit more of an emotional stake in what's going on here because he feels more responsible, whereas Doctor Strange is like, I need to defend the Time Stone. Like that's it. That is my job as Sorcerer Supreme, to defend the universe, and by defending the Time Stone, I am doing that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's continue on the plot a little bit here. So they rescue Doctor Strange, but they don't know how to fly the ship, and it goes all the way to Titan.
Yeah.
Where is our initial location. So it is
And then-
Spider-Man,
Doctor
Strange and Iron Man.
Yep, hanging out on Titan. And then they stay there for...
They stay there for a good amount of time. Now, just a quick little backtrack.
Which let me interject if people don't know. Titan is the home planet of Thanos.
Yes, of Thanos. So Thanos at this point, he has the second Infinity Stone. He gets while aboard.
He gets the Tesseract.
He gets the Tesseract and he puts it onto his thing. So now he's got up to 2 stones.
And then I think we should do when they
the collector.
The collector, yeah, exactly.
Yes. So when the rest of the Guardians go.
So this is Chris Pratt, Star-Lord, Gamora, and Drax.
And
Mantis.
Mantis. They go and
they go to nowhere, the home of the collector.
And they just get torn apart.
And literally torn apart.
Well, see what happens is you have this awesome scene where they confront Thanos. And obviously, it's a trap, but Gamora, it looks like Gamora's killed Thanos.
And there's a great moment earlier where Gamora says, "Don't let him capture me." Yeah. That's another great emotional moment.
It's
in the
movie. A great,
he's like, "Don't let it," and she's like, "We really doesn't want you to really promise me. Swear on your mother."
Before they get to nowhere, Gamora in this very emotional scene with Star-Lord says, if he captures me, I need you to promise me one thing.
On your mother.
I need you to kill me.
Yeah.
Just due to the 20 years that she was in Thanos' custody.
And the Soul Stone.
Well, we don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know that. You're right.
We don't know that then. And
she says, I know something he doesn't know.
Well, yeah, but so she doesn't. He just doesn't want to know where the Soul Stone is.
Yeah.
However, you get that situation.
Yeah.
And you just have this comical part with the collector and Drax. And he runs at Thanos.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is after that. You find out Thanos already has a Reality Stone.
Yeah, so he was tricking them the whole
time. You shipped everything, and the entire, I would say, space that the collector uses
destroyed.
is destroyed. And you just have, at first, Tyson was like, holy shit, Drax is dead. Drax leaps at Thanos, and using the Reality Stone, he just dices him up into
and I also thought
doesn't kill him. It's just
I thought at that moment he was dead.
He just shifts reality, and then he does it to Mantis.
Yeah, and I was like, so you're not.
So basically, he gets a hold of Gamora, and they have this very emotional scene
where he's like,
Thanos is like, so this is, so Thanos is like, so this is the boyfriend.
Yeah, and he holds her up.
Star-Lord isn't able to take her out,
and he does.
Well, he tries.
Eventually.
So Star-Lord, after much, I guess, deliberation and emotional destruction on his part, he points his blaster at Thanos, and realizes the cries that Gamora is sending out to him.
He can't know what I know.
Yeah, and so he points his blaster at Gamora. And they have this tearful kind of
I love you
glare at each other, and
goodbye.
She admits her love to him. He pulls the trigger, but because Thanos uses the Reality Stone, bubbles come out of the blaster, and it was kind of nuts because it's just like his commitment to her is insane. Yes. He as much as he didn't want to do it, he was ready to end her suffering.
So to go full movie nerd on this, one of my favorite directors of all time is Alfred Hitchcock because he knows how to just take a scene and just hold it. He holds the tension. He holds literally your heart and just look, I got this. This is the control of the scene I have. There were a couple scenes.
Are you talking the one in Psycho?
Yeah, in Psycho where they're
in the two of them. The two
I was thinking the car is going into the swamp.
Oh, I was thinking that one, and I was also thinking the one where it's just the woman and
they're
having the conversation.
He just holds
in the
scene
room.
And you're like, oh,
and it's
I got
weird.
This.
This is a weird conversation.
Yeah,
we'll get back. We're back to.
There's a lot of moments in this movie where they literally hold you and just look, I have this tension. I have this power over you. It's just you just feel it. Yeah. Okay. So then what happened? So basically,
he now has 3 stones, and he takes
Gamora
with her. He's taking Gamora with her, with him.
With him.
Yes.
And then we want to finish up that storyline. So basically, then the rest of that, Star-Lord, Drax, and Mantis
get a message from Nebula.
Yes.
Who was tortured. This is skipping around the plot a little bit. So Gamora gets taken to Titan before Iron Man and Spider-Man get there with Doctor Strange, and he tortures Nebula until Gamora reveals what she knows, and that she knows where the Soul Stone is. Yeah. And those two go to find the Soul Stone, and this is where you guys found it extremely crazy. What happened to get the Soul Stone?
Oh, do you want to go into that now? My!
I'll let you guys, because you guys Red Skull's back.
So before we get into this, even though Tyson ruined the emotional
Red Skull.
Red Skull. It's an exciting moment. You get there, and there's a hooded figure that looks like Death. And if you know comics, you know that Thanos has a relationship with Death. and he pulls off the hood, and it's the fucking Red Skull. And he talks about... and
just for clarity, we haven't seen it
since
7 years? 7 years?
Well, in our time, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, in Captain America: The First Avenger, if you weren't aware, he touches the Tesseract, which has the Space Stone. And he gets, like, warped off into this thing. And he's just there. And he explains to Thanos that in order to get the Soul Stone, you need to give something up.
Yeah.
You need to give away a part of your soul.
Yep.
Yeah.
And throughout the movie, you have...
There's an intercutting of scenes.
An intercutting of flashbacks of when Thanos takes Gamora from her home planet, and you pretty much find out that Thanos' entire motivation is essentially population control.
Yeah.
Because he realizes that the universe, nor any planet within it, or within any sort of, compact of space, can sustain our lifestyles or any real type of lifestyle that a conscious organism can provide. So he decides to off half of the population of the universe.
It's very interesting. There's a lot of subtle hints to half in this.
Yes.
In this movie, like we killed half the population of half the Asgardians are dead.
They don't talk about what happened.
Yeah.
But you know what was nuts? If you notice during the scene where he abducts Gamora and they separate half of the people don't like, half of them.
So like half has always been his obsession.
So he wants to cut the population in half in order to sustain. And so
this is what I think this is the ultimate duality of this. Is you see like when they go back and like it's just Thanos and Gamora talking, and he's like, I wanted you to rule on this throne after I was gone.
Great.
And eventually, in the Soul Stone, you have to give up the person that you like. You have to give up a soul that you love.
He's giving up his vision of the future.
And so what he does is he kills Gamora.
Yeah. He throws Gamora off.
To get the Soul Stone. And this is where I think the ultimate duality comes in. Is half of his daughters die, and it's the one he loved.
That's good. I like that.
I think the ultimate duality is like the daughter he would have chosen.
Yeah.
No, you don't get to choose. It's random.
Yeah.
It's the one.
It's also, I don't think it's random.
No, I mean it is. But I'm just saying, like, it's just like,
yeah.
But like, it's like if he got to choose, he would have chosen
Nebula in a second.
But guess what? Just like how he wants all of like everything to be half random, like no choice.
Yeah.
It applies to him too, where he can't get what he wants.
Mind you, during that,
and it kills him. And it takes him so long. He's crying as he throws Gamora off the side.
Gamora doesn't understand it until.
And that's what I just mentioned this briefly off mic. Yeah. That like. We were talking about how like Gamora should have realized this before he got there.
Here's the thing, though. Introspectively, she didn't realize it was a tough love.
Didn't think.
She was tortured for 20 years and forced to battle with her sister to the death, like to the point where Nebula, like 90% of her body is mechanical.
And we see that in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, and you see that. But like that's besides the point. So like you figure out that like Thanos, and if you think about it too throughout the movie, they build it slowly that like Gamora tries to kill him, he lets her live.
Yeah.
Like if she defies him.
The one thing he cares about is Gamora.
I totally forgot about that scene.
Like there is that's it. Like that. Like at the end of the day, like the one thing throughout all of his journey to make everything equal.
His two is Gamora.
Like that's all he cares about.
And we will say,
it's like his fault. Like it's his like one error in his mind.
And we will say in any sort of fictional storytelling, obviously if a death is relegated to all scene, they're still alive. He throws Gamora off this cliff. You look at her lifeless, deformed body on the ground. Like, Disney did not give a shit.
This is the one. Gamora's the one thing where I think they might go back on. No. I honestly think
they bring her back.
No, I don't think they bring her back.
I think it goes either way. I think I could see it going either way.
I think the point of it is like, Thanos has to choose. Like, do I really care about this? And it's like I wasn't supposed to have this attachment, and because I did. I'm now able to complete this. Like I was a little bit worried that like he purposely formed this attachment, knowing like this was the Soul Stone. I was like, no, that's not the case.
He's like, Thanos is arguably the center of this movie.
Oh, he is.
But he's
100%.
Still not the protagonist. If Thanos was the protagonist, I think Gamora would be dead. But Thanos is not the protagonist, so I don't necessarily think she's.
Well, there is no real protagonist. Like it
would be the Avengers are the protagonists.
Yeah, well, and the Guardian, whatever you want to call their conglomerate.
The Marvels are the
the
Marvels are the protagonists.
So is there anything about the plot that you want to discuss?
I want to
Yeah,
continue to go on the plot.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm
do
just
it.
waiting for it to
So-
calm down a little bit. That was a very
So
important.
Gamora is diggity dead, and Thanos now has 4 Infinity Stones.
4 Infinity Stones. He gets the Soul Stone by killing.
Which I could have sworn that the Soul Stone would have been the 6th one.
I thought that my mass prediction was that the Soul Stone was in Wakanda, and the Soul Stone was what gave the heart-shaped herbs the power to give the Black Panther.
I would have thought that until I saw Black Panther.
Well, it's also like because they have that moment where he goes to that spirit realm and talks to his predecessors, and it was just like there has to be some connection to the Infinity Stones. I digress. Continue.
I think there have been too many Infinity Stones on Earth. Like, I'm not a guy to nitpick
That's
things, but like 3 is a lot.
Three's
Like,
a lot.
you have half just randomly. Like,
Yeah.
that's weird.
Of all the planets?
Like, there's a lot. Yeah, come on.
Well, it could have landed with that big amount of vibranium. just
Yes,
saying.
I know.
Yeah.
Granted. Okay, let me
So
get back to the plot
what's
here.
Next?
What's next?
So let's do like Drax and Star-Lord meet up with.
So yes, yeah, I'll do.
yeah.
So Drax, Mantis, Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes, because Gamora's
Meet up
gone.
with Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Spidey on.
On
and
Titan.
they have
Titan.
they have a little bit
Because-
of a conflict in the beginning
because
they don't
Nebula notifies them that Titan
Yes,
is where.
yes. And Nebula
like-
shows up there too.
Eventually.
Later, right?
Because she
Eventually.
escapes.
Yeah.
She escapes from her capture.
Yeah.
While Thanos is gone, and she gets everyone there.
But yeah, you get this little fight between Tony, Peter Parker, and
And-
Doctor Strange
and
versus the
Star-Lord.
Guardians.
Oh yeah, there is a little bit of a
versus
of
the
a-
Guardians. Yeah,
Because they don't know each
They
other.
don't know each other.
They-
That's actually a great.
They don't know who's.
And they're like, oh, he's like,
There's a
you're
great
working with
moment-
Thanos. No, you're. Oh,
with it.
wait.
Oh no,
Don't like
we're good.
Thanos?
Same team. Like
And then you get that scene in the trailers where it's just like, okay, I like your plan.
Oh, yeah.
But
But
also
it
it's
sucks.
stupid.
Like,
Yeah.
Which
We're
was-
gonna do my plan.
Yeah, and so eventually, Thanos comes back to Titan, and
it's-
I think that was one of the coolest scenes in the movie, where it's just that conglomerate of the couple of Avengers
And that's
the couple of
There's
Guardians.
one thing I want to get into there,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
this is
I have a point to make too. But yeah.
Doctor Strange starts going into using the
Oh,
time stone to go
yeah,
through
yeah.
multiple like futures, and he says he ends up like testing like 14 million futures, and he said there's only one where in which we succeed, and then they form a plan based off of that.
Yeah.
And so when Thanos comes, do we want to do the Thanos fight now? Or
Yes.
do we
Yeah,
want to-
Let's
talk about
finish
It
this.
works. Yes. So Thanos shows up and is like, "Give me that Eye of Agamotto. Like
Yeah.
I want the time stone. Like it's like
And let us preface this too, that in between them killing the Ebony Maw and going to Titan, Tony Stark has a discussion with Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange says, if it's between your life, the kid's life, or the time stone, I'm keeping the time stone safe because I am not sacrificing 2 lives for the sake of billions.
yeah, trillions. Even.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you move on to this awesome fight. And
Awesome fight.
it's the it's and when I brought up earlier Tony
Yeah.
fucking mastering the technology,
B just like
and the
having
teamwork
the
between
concept
these
and
guys.
the concept of the fighting. I'm sorry.
They
that
basically-
fight was Iron Man.
They're getting
Yeah.
beaten to shit, right? And then they slowly start like tying Thanos down
Yeah.
at different points,
And this
then
is-
they all have him down, like tied down, like
This is
spider
another
webs are down on him.
great example
He's being
of-
held down by
yeah.
Drax. Mantis is on top trying to calm
Yeah,
him
to
down.
calm him down. This is
and then-
a great example of an emotional moment that's brilliant that I completely forgot about because crazier stuff happens down the line.
Let me get into this.
Yeah,
I'll explain it just so they're what the plan is. We're all gonna like hold him down and then
Get the glove off.
So what
get the
happens-
glove off.
Yeah,
We're gonna just
so-
pull the glove off, and they're starting to pull the glove off, and then Star Lord is just like, wait, where's Gamora? Like, where's Gamora? And then he comes to like the slow realization that Gamora's gone, and he can't handle it.
And he's just
just like in Guardians 2, where he just like opens fire.
First, I
on-
love that scene. I love
Yes.
the scene in Guardians 2 where he's just like, you kill my mom. You kill my mom. Like, but, like just, you kill my mom. Like, I don't, you kill my mom. Like done.
he's like, I'm with you. You killed
You killed my mom.
Bah, 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 bah.
What? Like,
Are you sure he didn't kill his aunt?
like,
Just
So
checking.
so basically,
Yeah.
they
So,
he-
and
he-
then-
that ruins the play because it wakes him
Peter
up.
Quill,
Like
and the cool thing is too, they literally show Peter like the glove slips off of the gauntlet
yes,
slips off.
it's
then,
almost
like-
Spider-Man almost has it, and Peter just hits him right.
Can we just imagine a world where like Tom Holland, Peter Parker like slips that gauntlet on?
like,
Holy shit!
I'm 17 and rule the galaxy.
Like Captain Universe.
It's
much?
like,
wait, if I
Exactly.
snap it twice, does
it fixes everything, right?
oh my
That's
god! If
great.
I snap it twice, Zendaya is the Mary Jane we all know and love.
Like, no, I think he's gonna go a little bit further than that. He's 17.
Oh man! But yeah, so we digress on that. But the it's so
that ruins the plan.
And
Yeah,
so
it ruins the plan.
Ruins the plan.
Ruins the
And I'm
plan.
using
Thanos-
quotation marks here because something that happens later.
Yeah.
So it then the fight breaks out. Like they are clearly about to be like Thanos is destroying them now.
Yeah.
He's slipped out of their grasp, this hold that they are in, and he is more powerful than ever.
Yeah.
And he's dismantling the Avengers one by, or not the Avengers, the
Yeah,
Avengers and the
that
Guardians
group.
one by one, that group. And to the point of it comes down to it's just Thanos and Iron Man, and they're fighting and they're fighting and they're fighting, and Iron Man is getting beaten, and then
Well, Iron Man holds his own pretty well.
Yeah.
does for a little bit,
For a
and
little
then Thanos stabs him through the chest.
Yeah.
Now,
and
let me no. We should.
go for it. Go for it.
He doesn't die.
He doesn't die. He doesn't die. You're right. He doesn't
I
die.
thought he was going to die going into this movie personally
so did
because
Tyson.
no one
We're
expected.
not
it.
going into it, but
No,
during it.
no. Oh yeah, during it when they.
We'll talk about this later. Yes, where and Doctor Strange is sitting in the he's beaten over in the
Yeah.
corner, and he says, "Thanos, I'll give you
the time
stone
to spare his life. Yeah.
if you spare his life," which goes against, and that's his arc where he's like he
And
starts
for
kind of
me,
getting
I
mad.
found that incredibly significant because even though you don't get a heck of a lot of time with each character, it shows a lot of development
Yeah.
on
Between
Doctor
those,
Strange's
yes.
part. Because it's like in the beginning, without hesitation, he says, "If it's you or the boy's life,
Yeah.
I pick the stone."
Yes.
And here
Although-
he is, and I thought it was a trick. I thought he was going to trick him, and in the end, you just have this
He gives him the
emotional
stone.
moment where he gives him the stone to spare Tony's life.
And
I
it
don't
does
necessarily
spare.
see that as an arc
Now-
though.
Yes, I agree with what you're saying because I think it goes back to later. Thanos leaves for Earth to go get the last Infinity Stone. He's got 5
Or 2
now.
more.
No, he's got
No, I'm sorry,
he's got
sorry.
5.
I miscounted.
He's got
You
5
go.
now. He's got 5, and he's
Yeah.
going to get Vision's stone.
Uh-huh.
Vision is on Earth holding out.
Yeah.
We have not talked about that in a while.
We'll get back to that.
We'll get back to that. And so they leave, and Tony turns to him and he's like, "Why did you do that?" Like,
Yeah.
I
And
was ready
we
to
don't
give.
get a straight answer, right?
No, what you do get is like, this was the only way.
Yeah.
And
And
from Doctor Strange, which I think it's not conclusive, but I think it calls back to something earlier that happens,
Yeah.
where he says there's a 1 in 14 million chance that that this works, and I think the way you needed to cause him to get the time stone,
Yeah.
for them to eventually beat Thanos, not in this
In the
movie,
long run.
but I think in the long run, and I think this
definitely.
was purposeful, and I don't think it was necessarily calculated that Peter would do this, but I think that there's that 1 in 14, this was a purposeful action where, when he says this is the only way, this is I don't think he even told them. I think he told them another plan so that this would happen,
Yeah.
and that he would eventually have to give up the stone to cause him to have now 5 stones and head towards Earth.
So
We should
I think we should do the Vision story and then tell
To a point.
to where Thor's story intersects with that one and then tell
Yes.
Thor's story.
Okay.
Good?
Fire it off, boys.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
So let's go back to Vision. Vision Vision gets stabbed. That's where we left off, right?
Yeah,
and
Vision
then
gets
Cap
stabbed.
comes in,
Cap,
and there's a
Cap-
great fight with
Black Widow, Black Widow, Falcon, and
Scarlet
Witch.
Witch.
Those
And-
5
yeah.
characters.
And then
fight.
they-
versus Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight.
It's great. It's just great.
Fantastic.
And they force the 2 members of the Black Order to retreat, and they bring the Vision in for
Sure.
medical treatment.
At the Avengers.
And you get this
facility.
awesome moment where Anthony Mackie.
that was another underrated moment of the movie.
He tells off General Ross, and
Not
it was-
Falcon. War
War
Machine.
Machine.
War Machine.
Oh, it was War Machine. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it was War Machine. Don Cheadle, can't forget. Don Cheadle was the one that told him off. So that was cool. But continue on to the significant parts.
Yeah.
All right. So continuing, so that was a great scene. I love that scene. So it goes to from there, and they said we need to get someplace where we can defend the Soul Stone.
And they're
from
like-
them, and they're like,
That's the-
Cap is like,
whose-
I
whose
have a
movie
place.
just made $1 billion?
That's the Mind Stone.
Whose
The
movie
Mind,
just,
oh, Mind Stone?
Mind Stone.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Soul Stone is a different. Yeah, my bad.
whose movie just made $1 billion?
$1 billion.
Whose movies?
billion.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
You
$1
said
Let's
billion.
go to Wakanda. Okay, so
Um,
they basically go to Wakanda.
Yeah.
Because
Wakanda
for
is
two
hanging
reasons.
out.
For 2 reasons. 1, to defend. That's a great place to defend from.
Yeah.
And 2 is they want to remove
The-
the Mind Stone from
Vision's
Vision's forehead without killing him.
Yeah.
And
Shuri.
Lolita White's character, Shuri.
Letitia Wright.
Letitia.
Letitia. Yeah,
I-
Letitia Wright.
It's Letitia Wright.
It's-
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
never heard her name pronounced, so
Yeah.
I just seen it in credits.
Um,
So she
Shuri, yeah.
Yeah,
Shuri comes up with a way to remove the stone from his
Yeah.
head so that they
but
can
it's going to take a
destroy
long
it.
time.
And the idea is that Scarlet Witch can destroy the stone. And
Yeah.
what Vision wants is Vision doesn't even want to risk it.
Yeah,
he
Vision
wants
just
Scarlet
wants-
Witch to kill him
Yeah.
and the stone just so that Thanos can't have the power of the 6. the 6 stones, where he can snap his fingers and half of humanity and half of every life in the galaxy
so
dies.
Technically, this whole movie Scarlet Witch is fake. Again. Just
Debatable.
saying.
Debatable.
If she had killed him right then and there before Thanos knew, he just
That's true.
Just saying.
That's true.
But
Remember, we need a movie. We need to go see a movie.
So at this point, they brought him into Wakanda. And the forces of the Black Order begin to invade Wakanda. And you get that big war scene battleground from the trailers.
The trailer, yep.
Yep.
Where it's Captain America. Let me read the list of Black Panther, Captain America, Bucky, Black Widow, Falcon, War Machine. Not Ghost Rider. Still mad about that.
Not Ghost Rider.
Sorry, I just have that it's right there on my list. Oh yeah, just completely unrelated.
Vision, Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Vision, Scarlet Witch. Well, Vision's getting operated. Okoye. A lot of Black Panther.
The Jabari tribe.
Jabari tribe. Yep.
Pretty much every tribe of Wakanda.
With the exception of Daniel from Get Out, whose name escapes.
Daniel from Get Out, because I'm sure he's locked up.
Wakabi. Well, he's in jail.
And also Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh yeah, she wasn't there. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, but she's probably somewhere doing something.
She's off being a social justice warrior.
She is. So that's basically it. They fight. That's
there's a big fight.
But, okay, even the nameless goons that are like the
foot soldiers
army
for the
are still super intense. They've got
they
4 arms and they're animalistic. Like they literally
destroying.
Yeah, the scene when they're trying to breach the barrier. They're like killing themselves. They make a point.
They're trying to pull themselves through these shields,
and half of them get like cut in half. Like
interjection, those things look like the creatures from A Quiet Place. That new John Krasinski.
Oh yeah,
they
I do kind of see that.
Anyways, back to Avengers.
But like they're super intense, yeah. And then that's pretty much where
they are losing. They are actively losing.
Yes.
They're losing ground. And they need to protect Vision at all costs so that they can get the Mind Stone out of there so they can destroy the Mind Stone. So now we're moving over to the Rocket, Groot, and Thor.
Yes.
They are going to get the... What, Deathbringer? Is it? Not Deathbringer. Stormbreaker. They all sound the same.
They go to the Stormbreaker.
Gotcha.
So they go to this...
Let me get... Because there's a scene...
My favorite scene for the movie. Scene and then you could...
My favorite scene for the movie is them on the way to there. And there's a couple comments. One is like... when Rocket says, "I'll leave with Thor," on the ship with the Guardians, still way back, and they're like, "The only reason you want to do this is because you don't want to be where Thanos is."
Yeah.
Like, and that is 100% true.
100%
Like, 'cause
right.
at the end of the day, Rocket's a coward.
Yes,
Rocket is a coward, and all
he proves his bravery when it counts, though.
Yes.
No, he proves his bravery when he's forced
to. Yeah.
When he's forced to, but Rocket is a guy that is constantly like. Rocket has a messed up past, and he's constantly running away from it.
Yeah.
He does not want to face anything. Mm-hmm. And Groot is a person he legitimately cares about, and he wants to protect him.
Yeah.
And so there's a part where Rocket's joking around where he's like, "I'm the captain of this like ship."
Yeah.
Like Peter Quill is not captain anymore. And so there's Thor and Thor is messed up mentally. Like he is absolutely destroyed. Like Loki's dead, his father is dead. He killed his sister. He killed all of Asgard to kill his sister. His mother's dead.
Yeah.
Like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has not been good to Thor.
No, not at all.
And Thor's been very good to us.
He lost his hammer.
And his girlfriend broke up with him.
And his girlfriend broke up with him. Yeah.
Yes. So there's a lot, like, everything. His whole home is destroyed. Yeah. His best friend is dead.
His life is in shambles.
Yes. And there's a scene where he's just, like, going through, like, I have nothing.
Which is the one that you were referencing earlier, just to clarify.
Yes. Yes, my favorite scene of the movie is where he's just starting to I'm really Rocket's like, got a clear head, and it's like, yes, I have a clear head, vengeance and rage and
clears your head
a little
bit, but
you
really feel it,
and then
you really feel it,
and then he starts going into each person that's died, and I lost my thing, and then he's like. And then Rocket says something where it's like, no, we all have had loss. And he's like, I lost my brother. I lost my best friend. I lost my... Like, at least you have your mother, right? At least you have your mother. And he's like...
No, she was killed by a dark elf.
She was killed by a dark elf. And there's a physical, and he does not look joking. Like, you can see the look draining from Thor.
There's a visual
in a lesser direct...
in the way he carries.
Where he's not
in
even
a lesser
looking at
director's
the thing.
hands, that would have been a comedic moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would have been a thing where he's like, oh, no, she's dead too. But
where he's not even facing the camera. He's looking away from the camera, and you just see, like, a tear coming down his eye, and you're like, you're just distraught. Where Rocket's trying to avoid this moment, just like he tries to avoid a lot of things, and he can't. Like, he can't steer Thor away from I'm distraught. Like, I have nothing. I've lost everything. I'm the king of Asgard. I was supposed to be the king of Asgard. Now I have
the
nothing.
king of nothing. Like literally.
And it's just they just stick on that scene where it's like,
oh my god,
make a joke or something.
Amazing.
Make a joke or something. And then like Rocket doesn't make a joke. And he tries to, and it just doesn't work. Like it's purposeful. It's like he's like, this is where another Marvel movie would have like taken a moment to be like, let's laugh a little bit, and they're like, no, this needs to land. And Rocket tries to make a joke, and it just won't work. And Rocket is also facing like the same thing, things. And like that is my favorite scene of the movie by a long shot. I know how people can disagree with me.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll all go through our favorite scenes.
We'll all go through our favorite scenes. Anyway, so they get to the place to forge the.
We meet the Dink.
We meet Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, who is like has the proportions of a small person, but is incredibly.
And I like they mentioned at some point that they're dwarfs.
They're dwarfs.
But it's cool, like the dwarfs are
like
gigantic.
massive.
So they go to this forge that is fairly impronounceable, as it sounds Nordic.
Oh yeah, I have no idea.
And you find out that this man is most likely the one who forged Mjolnir, which was Thor's previous hammer, and has forged the weapons for each one of the respective kings of Asgard.
And he also forged the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes, that's what you find out when you get there.
Yeah, so Thanos squeezed him and killed everyone else on that little forge planet.
And took away his hands.
And so the thing is, the core is dark, and they need to reignite it, and by doing so, Peter Dinklage will,
Yeah, what?
will be
the Dinks.
The Dinks.
Eitri was his name in the movie?
Eitri, yeah.
Eitri,
yeah, it was Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage.
So the
Dinks.
The Dink will be able to. That's how we're going to refer to Peter Dinklage.
Yeah,
the Dinks.
The Dinks. Once the planet is reignited, will be able to forge a new weapon for Thor, aka the Stormbreaker. And for those of you who are fans of Marvel continuity, if I'm not mistaken, that is the weapon of Beta Ray Bill, rival, adversary, comrade of Thor. I digress. Who you do see, by the way, if you pay attention to Ragnarok, and they show the stone faces of all the champions of Sakaar, Beta Ray Bill is up there. So next time you watch it, keep an eye out. Awesome little cameo.
So I'm not going to go into too much detail about how they forge it.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
there was a good strength moment with Thor.
There's a good strength moment with Thor.
Yeah, so that
he's
moment
putting
that
everything
you
he's
see
got
in the
left.
trailer.
Like,
That's that moment.
Yeah, in the trailer where you see that bright light, hitting Thor and he's screaming. He's trying to get the because this is a mechanical planet.
Yeah.
He tries to get it moving to reignite the core, and he has to get blasted with the full force of a star.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I think it's one of those things where it's like, you want to do this? He's like, I don't care. Just
Well,
if I die, I die.
He has nothing to
You're
lose.
like Thor is not happy anymore. Like, remember the Thor from the Civil War?
Okay, just no,
the after credit scene. Or not after credit scene, like the video with
Thor
Daryl.
1, when he comes in and everyone is cheering for him and he's flipping the hammer around. Like, how far have we come from that?
And Thor's just like destroyed.
Well,
and Thor was fun. Thor was happy in Thor 3, and he's already lost a lot.
Let me say, he probably lost his L'Oreal sponsorship.
Really, honestly, it's gone now.
But
Thor's like, if I get killed by this star thing, it doesn't matter.
Thor
it's
has
like someone else will carry the hammer or the axe.
That's fine.
Thor has absolutely nothing. Like his life is in absolute shambles.
So then we go back to Wakanda now, right?
No. We should stay on Thor because.
Well, I mean, same thing. That's where the UFC.
So Thor gets the Stormbreaker, and he hasn't really used his powers.
Odin Force.
Odin Force.
He didn't.
And now I think
didn't use
I know you have a problem with this, but and I'm just talking it through. I think there might be a bit of like he's distraught. He has no will. He has no actual like. There's no will. Like angry is one thing, but I think he's lost. Like he's lost the will to live. Like
I think
that's apparent. Doesn't have. He's not even driven by rage. He's just driven by like. I guess I have to go kill Thanos.
I think
like he's not even sure about it. He's just like
I disagree. I think he's driven by the loss because as much as it was kind of I have nothing to lose moment. He knew he's like I lost everything and I have to take that away from Thanos. Like his driving thing was I have to kill Thanos.
He does say that, but I think through when we watch him like go through the movie, he does not look like let's go get Thanos. No, he's like
well, no.
I guess we have to go get Thanos.
I wouldn't be able to be chipper if I just lost my brother.
That's the point.
He doesn't seem like angry like Drax is. Like Drax is like let's go get him now. It's like Thor's like we'll just need to get the most powerful weapon because I can't beat him.
Yeah,
and I can't do this. Like I don't have the power. He doesn't believe in himself.
I think
he loses. Like he has no more will.
I think it's just
he
the
needs
evolution of his character.
I think
where he's at.
I think the Stormbreaker just like reignites like that spark of like, yes, I think the Odin Force doesn't necessarily channel. It just gives him
lost everything, but I'm still Thor.
Like
Well, your boy's got his hammer back.
When he touches the Stormbreaker, he immediately
Which is a great thing. Groot's arm
Yeah,
becomes...
so when the Stormbreaker is forged, the two parts of the axe are split, and obviously after being hit with the full force of a star, Thor is unconscious.
He needs it.
And Peter Dinklage doesn't have hands that articulate anymore. They are made of metal, so he can't piece it together. So teenage Groot, who is the little...
Who hasn't done anything in this whole movie.
Who was being a dick
yeah.
the entire movie playing his video game because teenage Groot takes a part of his arm, forges the handle for the Stormbreaker, and cuts it off.
Which
so
is
that
sick.
so that he has
That
something
was
to
awesome.
wield. You just see the hammer fly towards Thor, and then I think at that point we cut
back.
towards
Thor's is actually back.
we
don't know that for sure yet.
No, he is no doubt. So we cut.
We're gonna have repercussions.
So then we cut back to based on the end of the movie, definitely repercussions. Then we cut to Wakanda,
where they're getting destroyed.
That ass getting beat, and so Thanos appears.
Yeah.
And
no,
I think Thor's first, right?
Thor's first.
Thor appears down
and just starts single-handedly taking out this entire
You just see him fucking
Control Alt Delete
Oh my god! He just whips the Stormbreaker through like he's the Captain Boomerang we deserved from Suicide Squad. He whipped it through, and it just went through.
He starts taking out the ships, and this
is like Thor. He has never been more powerful, and it's just.
I mean, there's one shot I remember where it's similar to a shot we got in Ragnarok, where he's jumping up, and you just see amazing amounts of lightning coming down on him, and you're just that's awesome. Awesome.
I don't know about you guys. I was kind of half hoping for Immigrant Song to
yes,
no,
it would have been overused. Here's the thing. I'm disappointed that they didn't, but if they did, I wouldn't have liked it.
Yes.
So
that's
you know, Marvel knows best for me. Marvel knows best for me.
So yeah, they start kind of fighting back. And there comes a point where Scarlet Witch needs to leave her post to go help.
Yeah.
And she's guarding Vision and Shuri, and they still haven't completely removed the stone.
Yeah.
And because Scarlet Witch leaves, what's his name?
Corvus Glaive.
Corvus Glaive sneaks up, attacks Shuri. Shuri survives.
That's what we're concerned with. Shuri cannot die. Shuri's not allowed to die.
There's a Black Panther 2 that we all want to see.
Yeah.
So,
well, who's gonna be Black Panther now?
Hush yourself.
So basically, he draws Vision out. Vision isn't able to complete the procedure. They fight into the jungle. Cap goes. They destroy the forces. They Black Widow. What's her name?
You mean they dismantled the establishment?
Black Widow. Okoye, and Scarlet Witch. They kill
Proxima Midnight. So the Black Widow brings down these big these big circular grinder looking things that across Wakanda.
So anyways,
and
Thor
with the
help of Thor, they destroy those. And
they're in this little glitch, and they throw Proxima Midnight, who was part of the Black Order, into one of those things. She gets shredded up and killed. And we didn't really go over how the Ebony Maw died against.
We haven't even talked about Bruce Banner at all.
Well,
Bruce
no.
Banner.
You're right.
We really have.
So
Bruce Banner didn't kill the Ebony Maw.
That's true, but
Peter Tony. Yeah, so
he just sent him up in the atmosphere.
Into
the shield, and he killed him.
Just backtrack.
Are we talking?
Let's backtrack first. Let's set the
big
record
hammer.
straight. You are coming at us with some fake news, my friend.
Which parts are we talking about? The big guy?
Yes. No, I'm gonna go with it. No, that's not him.
Guy.
Ebony Maw was the white guy, the prickly white guy who started interrogating Strange.
We talked about how
he died.
I told you how he popped the hole in the ship, and then
yes, we talked about the popping hole in the ship.
Oh, we already did.
We talked about this when because I said they went over the rescuing of Doctor Strange. I went over this.
Yeah.
So let's just go back to what's the big bulky guy? One of the four.
I don't know.
He was the most forgettable of the bunch.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Bruce Banner can't get it up, as we said before.
Yeah.
And a result of that is he has to
in
wear the
Hulkbuster suit. Yeah.
Which is funny.
It is really good.
And so he single-handedly is taking on this big, bulky.
And obviously he doesn't know how to use the
suit.
Hulkbuster suit. He knows how to. He doesn't really know how to be Hulk. Hulk takes over.
Yeah.
So and by the way, he tries to summon Hulk.
A
Hulk
lot.
Which is
another great emotional moment
and he
in the
screams
movie.
no.
Yeah.
Hulk seems like no, because he got his ass beat by Thanos, and he doesn't want to come back.
Here's the thing. He's losing to big guy,
and he's like, come on, Hulk.
Please, Hulk. This is it. This is right now.
This is where you should come in.
Yeah.
I've asked for you a couple times, and Hulk comes out and is like, no, we're not doing that. And he's like, we have some serious issues we need to work out. Anyways, moral of the story is, eventually, eventually he beats.
Yeah, I mean, he
Eventually
just
Bruce
finds the
Banner's-
will in himself, and he's just like,
Yes,
yeah,
and he eventually kills
the big guy.
The big guy, whose
Yeah.
name I can't remember.
Then Thanos shows up.
Then Thanos shows
Then
up. Well,
Thanos-
no, because we have to first remember that Thanos doesn't necessarily show up yet. What happens is Scarlet Witch, Captain America, Black Panther all head into the woods where Vision is fighting off. What's one of the Black Order?
Clay?
Corvus Clay.
Corvus Glaive, yeah.
Corvus Glaive and Vision are fighting, and all these other Avengers go to like we need to protect Vision, and it comes to a point where Thanos then shows up, right?
Yeah.
So Thanos shows up, and
And
it's
then you have the moment where
everyone's get between Thanos
and
Vision.
Well,
and there's a great moment where Vision's like, well, he goes
Wanda,
to
like,
Scarlet Witch, like, now you
have to kill me.
no,
have to.
it's after.
Well, no, each people are like
before that, fucking Thor just comes in with a stone.
no, that's after.
No, that's after. It's definitely after. 'Cause remember,
That's after.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's like, you have to kill me. You have to kill me, and she does.
And
she's sobbing. Vision's crying. Like it's a whole.
Yeah,
Vision's
and,
like, you need to do it,
Thanos,
and you're like,
And he's like, I love you. It's okay. I love you. Like
you didn't this is not your fault.
this is not your fault.
Just
Like
runs through the remaining Avengers.
Yes,
he just swats
away
oh yeah,
Captain America.
And each thing is like each thing is like.
He doesn't kill any of those individual people.
Yeah,
but he just tossing them away. Like Black Panther, he's like,
It's like
no,
not even.
don't.
There's no thought.
There's no thought in what he's doing. He's just trying to work. They're all just slowing him down as Wanda destroys,
literally destroying herself.
Destroys the Mind Stone. She destroys the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
And you're like,
and Vision along with it.
and Vision along with it.
You did it.
And you did it. And then he's like, wait, I can turn back time.
So
and
he's
Thanos just does.
Using the newly acquired time
Stone
from
Doctor Strange.
He turns back time and takes the stone
Which is-
from Vision, which is the
Which is
final stone.
Another death that is just not pretty. Like
Yes.
literally, just he takes it out of his skull. He
And,
goes limp.
drops.
And I feel like there's a moment in every death where you're like, oh, he's really dead.
Yes.
And which is Vision goes gray.
Vision goes
Yeah,
crazy.
Vision
He
goes
loses
gray.
all color.
Right, and he loses his pupils. His eyes are just white.
Yeah, and you're like, Vision's gone.
And obviously, Wanda's a wreck. They try to go after him, and Thor just fucking comes thundering
The
in.
Stormbreaker just comes
unironically,
right through his chest.
Stabs Thanos with
And
because mind you, I don't know if most people know the Stormbreaker in the comics is like half hammer, half axe.
Now-
Stabs the axe through Thanos' chest, and you're like, holy shit!
Now,
Homeboy's
this is
dead.
what I thought. Now, this is I turned to, and I was very wrong about this. And I turned to Tyson after that scene happened, and I said, I think he just killed Thanos, and I think a distraught Thor is going to take the gauntlet, and he's going to just snap.
Yeah,
and
I
I
thought you were joking about that,
No,
actually.
I was being very serious. I was like, Thor's been through a lot. He seems like he's back, but I think he's actually he might not be back. He might mentally not be there, and he might grab the gauntlet and be like, I'm fixing it all.
Yeah.
I'm Flashpoint up in this motherfucker. I'm fixing fuck this. I'm fixing it.
Yeah.
I was legitimately concerned that's what they were gonna happen, and that was gonna be setting up the bad guy for the next movie was Thor. Just we're watching Thor be miserable. I can fix it all, and then he's just destroying the universe trying to do
Thanos just
it.
looks
But that's
at
not
him
what happened. That is
and
not what
goes,
happened.
You should have aimed for my head and
snaps
snaps
his
his
finger.
fingers.
And just saying a common saying running throughout the movie is Gamora saying, with all 5 Infinity Stones.
Six.
6 Infinity Stones.
Do you want to read comics?
Yeah, do I? Oh no, man.
Just a little bit.
Just
a little bit.
God. So with all 6 Infinity Stones, mind you, it's 4:30 in the morning here in the East Coast.
It's
so
4:30.
We're done.
This is the ramblings of crazy people.
Yeah,
I think I'm the most coherent here. That's because I
so-
stay up late
so-
watching Entourage.
So mind you, throughout the movie, and you see it in the trailer, where Gamora says with the snap of his fingers, Thanos could wipe out the entire universe.
When he has the 6 stones on the Infinity Gauntlet.
And so, all of a sudden, half of
Just the people in the immediate
When
vicinity.
he snaps his fingers,
Well-
and then the screen goes white.
the screen goes white, and you cycle.
I thought
back
that was going to
to
be the end of the movie.
You
I was
cycle, you cycle back to a young Gamora, and she goes, "Did you do it?" And he goes, "Yeah." And she goes, "At what cost?" And you move forward into back to Wakanda first.
Yeah.
And you see some of these characters start wasting away.
Yeah. And
Who was the first one to... Oh, it was Sebastian.
It was Sebastian.
It was
and here's the thing. So for us, I think
if y'all don't know the actor's name, it was
Oh,
Winter
it was Bucky.
Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier.
Bucky.
So I think for all of us, we knew that moment gonna happen and was a possibility. So when he snapped his fingers, we knew what that meant.
Like,
so I think for me, I was like, so I think we pan up to Cap first, and we're like, Cap is still here.
Yeah, Cap
Cap is still here. He looks at Bucky, and then
Bucky
starts,
he looks at Thor first.
Cap.
He looks at Cap, and nothing's happening. And he looks at Thor, and nothing's happening. And I was like, who's gonna go first? What's
and
gonna
then
happen?
it goes to Bucky. And Bucky starts turning gray and disintegrating.
So, and what happens if you notice that we did bring back, or we did discuss briefly earlier how we think that the original Avengers are going to get some spotlight time.
Yeah.
Because what happens is here, a lot of the most recent Avengers that have been introduced throughout their various individual films or whatnot, they're getting eradicated. Like you have, Star-Lord's gone. Pretty much all of the Guardians.
Wait, let me go through systematically who
totally
disintegrates.
Clear on, I forget. So let's
run
actually,
through.
can we run through?
So let me clarify something first. Half of everybody disintegrates
yes.
in the universe.
In the universe. And so they go through each person that is a hero that disintegrates. And so I'm going to run through the list. So if you're fine with spoilers up to this point and you really don't want to know this,
well, they gotta be fine with this.
We've explained the whole plot. But this is super spoilers. This is distraught super spoilers.
This is it.
So this is.
Red Skull was a pretty big.
Well, okay. Here's
all right. So people that and I want to go in kind of an order from like greatest to worst. So
I think we should do it in order
because, like it happened.
And then once we get to a specific character, we'll talk about like the significance because obviously
this is where my favorite.
All right. So.
In the movie.
So Bucky disintegrates.
Bucky disintegrates. T'Challa's gone.
Like Black Panther's he disintegrates.
He disintegrates, and that's a great moment where he and Okoye have a moment.
And you're like Okoye,
and you're
gone.
Like, and you see this fluttering, but you don't know who it's coming from. You're like, oh no, Okoye, and you're like, oh no, T'Challa.
Yeah, and T'Challa's gone, and Okoye just goes, my king, and she just starts crying.
And that's a beautiful moment because like. We just watched Black Panther.
Well,
T'Challa's everybody's king right now.
They're like brother sister almost. You know what I mean?
T'Challa's everybody's king right
Falcon
now.
Falcon's disintegrates.
Gone.
War Machine's good.
Stays.
Scarlet Witch gone.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch gone.
Black Widow's good.
Black Widow is good.
Yeah. And then
Doctor Strange was good.
Doctor Strange was gone.
He
got eradicated because after the people on the battlefield in Wakanda are gone.
Oh, is it just
you go back to Titan?
It's just
where Thanos has kind of left them in waste. Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. is healing himself up, and then you see.
Oh wait, we forgot the other people that are on Earth, because Groot came with Groot and Rocket. Groot and Rocket came with. No, they're back on Earth.
Oh, we forgot that because
they were with.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So Groot disintegrates.
Did Rocket go too?
No, Rocket was fine. Just Groot disintegrates in Rocket's eyes, and Rocket just
freaks.
Rocket's like no,
not Groot, not Groot. Like
it's like no, and then there's like that. Oh my god, I love Groot in this movie.
So
Groot.
Then
Groot says, "I am Groot." What else was going to say? But yeah, it's emotional.
And so then I think we get into one of the most painstakingly emotional moments,
which is my personal favorite.
So first we go back to Titan with the remaining Guardians,
and
who's
the
Drax?
Drax is the first one.
Drax,
Mantis,
and then Peter goes, and he obviously he's in a state of confusion. Oh, Peter Quill.
Yeah.
And then Peter Parker goes, and let me just say this. Peter Parker has this beautiful dialogue with Tony Stark.
It is by far my favorite moment.
Throughout the 3 movies that Spider-Man has now been in, he's obviously built this mentor-mentee, relationship with Tony Stark. And it's this beautiful thing because you got to think, this is a young kid, he's like 17 at this point in time, trying to come to grips with the fact that he's dying.
Yeah, he hugs Tony Stark and he's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And it goes back, for me, it goes back to my favorite moment in Spider-Man, was when he's when Vulture knocks out all the columns and he's under the
rubber building.
And you remember that you've been watching him fight bad guys for 2 hours. This is just a kid.
Yeah.
It's just a kid. And I love that he's like, I don't want to go. Don't do something. I don't want to go.
At 7,
and he's already starting to waste away, and he takes it it's so emotional. That's my favorite moment of the movie.
At 17, I had just gotten a license. And this guy is stopping killers.
And he's like, I don't want to go.
It's this sad moment. And you know what it reminded me of? How in Spider-Man, where Peter thought he was getting a hug from Stark.
Yeah. God.
And now he's getting the hug from Stark.
And
I'm a grown fucking man. And obviously, to some extent, we're getting a Spider-Man 2, so it's coming.
Yeah,
But you're caught up in the moment, and you're like, Oh my god! Like that by far,
don't
I think, was the
want to go.
most emotionally painstaking part of the movie. Like it is. I don't know what my favorite scene in the movie is, but that is definitely a contender.
Like that's my favorite. Because
Oh,
it's
man.
that's what I was talking about earlier when I said like Tom Holland's been flying all the way through, but for these like 10 seconds or whatever, he just kills it.
Oh my god!
He absolutely kills it.
That scene, and for me, like I said, it's just the weight that he's a child, like trying to come to the grips with
Yeah.
the fact that he's dying, and Tony, being the one who obviously like takes responsibility for him, couldn't save him.
Yeah, but then this goes all the way back to his vision in Age of Ultron. Like,
oh my god!
so like let's just wrap up. So like, I think that's and then Doctor Strange.
Well, no, Doctor Strange
I'm
goes
double
before
checking.
Peter. Doctor
You sure
Strange
Doctor
goes.
Strange goes?
Yes, because Doctor Strange.
Yes, because he's
remember-
sitting there. Because
remember
Tony pans over and he looks at Doctor Strange, and you're like, I was like, this is it. And then Doctor Strange.
Well, you
comes
also-
over, too.
in-
remember
on
because he's
the-
sitting down.
on the way. On the
Okay,
way,
how about this? Here's a little quiz question. What's the one person other than Iron Man that doesn't disintegrate in that scene?
Wait, I got it. Nebula.
Yeah,
Nebula.
there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking it too. I was like, Tony can't be the only one left.
Yeah, I was like,
And it's
Tony's not the only one left.
Tony
I
and
ran around, I was
Nebula.
like,
That's gonna
Drax
be.
definitely gone.
So-
Mantis is definitely gone.
Will that be an interesting dynamic in the next movie? Like Nebula and
they,
like
and they don't
Tony.
know each other at all, and they're so different.
They're so different.
different.
Will that be a thing, or
Honestly,
will they just like
I don't-
skip back to
I don't
Earth?
think they'll focus on it too much.
I think we're gonna get a cut back to Earth.
Yeah.
I genuinely do.
I could see that. Yes.
But here's the thing though. Yeah, definitely. Because remember, you did comment on Doctor Strange when he's disintegrating, saying like this was the only way.
No, that was earlier in the movie.
No,
That
because
was early in
you
the
say
movie.
when he's dying,
No.
like this has to happen.
Nope, that was early in the movie. No, because it's when Thanos first leaves to go to Earth, and he
Yeah,
says,
I think
"Why
that's right.
did you do this?" Like he still has like a thing in his chest. He's trying to repair it.
Yeah.
I thought he said something alluding to
He
that.
might, I
when
think he hinted
when he
at it.
died.
I don't think he was just saying.
No.
I think he said something. I don't know.
I mean,
because we did talk about how like they do allude to this happening is part of one of those 14 million
Yeah.
potential futures that
And
Doctor
this is
Strange
the one.
kind of ran through.
All right. So
All
that's it, right?
So do we want to do an alive dead count at the end right now, just really quick?
Sure.
Who's alive and who's dead? Thanos alive. He goes
Oh,
off
we
to.
didn't talk about Thanos. So Thanos' end is he's in a tent somewhere.
So Thanos is on this grassy, like this open grassy plain, which I'm assuming is like
Earth.
I don't know.
know.
So Thanos is just sitting there, and he's like he's fucked up. Like he looks pretty bruised, and you just see him with the
Like
gauntlet,
and a hint of a smile on his face.
and the movie goes black.
Yeah.
As far as I remember, we didn't miss anything towards the end.
All right.
those people
So,
are dead. So just let's start with the kill count instead of
Oh
going.
no! I think
No,
instead
let's
of
just
going- I
go.
think
I'm
we
just
should focus
gonna.
on who's alive.
No,
No.
we're gonna list through all major characters.
Sure,
I'm gonna
sure,
say alive or dead. Okay, so Loki dead.
Dead.
Bruce Banner alive.
Alive.
Drax dead.
Dead.
Nebula alive. Black Widow
Alive.
alive.
I was surprised at that one.
Bucky
dead.
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 Captain America
Alive.
Captain or Black Panther
Dead.
War Machine alive. Falcon
Dead.
Thanos
Alive.
Thor
Alive.
Scarlet Witch
Dead.
Gamora
Dead.
Dead. Super dead.
Vision
Dead.
Dead.
Digging
Iron
fucking
Man?
dead. Alive.
Alive.
Doctor Strange
Dead.
Dead.
Star-Lord
Dead.
Rocket Raccoon
Alive.
Alive.
Spider-Man
Dead.
and Groot.
Dead.
Am I missing any? Mantis?
Mantis dead.
Collector's dead. Like that happened like early in the
We'll
film.
talk-
He's not.
We'll get to the Infinity Wars.
So-
We'll get to the end credit scene later.
We got a pretty decent, and like I said, what's left for the most part, it's like the OG Avengers,
Wait, so this is my one
which I
They did
like.
that on
with
purpose.
the movie. I understand that.
Like, is that not random?
Well, 'cause it's
Well,
like
yeah,
these-
yeah. It's not
but it's
half.
purposeful.
And
It's-
it- and
I
it
understand.
and also-
and it shows growth because these are the guys that could barely stop the Chitauri, and
That's
now
true.
they are up against
That's true.
the
And
big baddie, and it's them. Obviously, with a couple additions like War Machine, but it's like they have to come together
Yeah.
and stop them. The OG team, which I think is great.
Okay, so I want to go off that and where I think it's just like, this is super cool. I get it's not random, but there's like a certain thing like in Star Wars you don't question the Force. Like when the Force
That's
does
true.
something, you're just like it's just movie magic.
true.
So that's what happens here, where they're like, we want the original Avengers to get back together and have to be. And the reason for that, I think, is this is the arc. Like the Avengers as a whole have an arc. These group of Avengers, where they split apart, they become more and more fractured, add more
Yeah.
people to replace them, and at the end of the day, it's like, nope, you can't be replaced. You guys have to
Yeah.
solve this, and this is their swan song. This is this
That's
group of Avengers.
that's
song
very
song.
true. It's very true.
Where it's Captain, Hulk,
Like,
Black Widow,
Iron
Hawkeye
Man.
might show up. I don't know if he will.
Do you think Hawkeye is going to join the original Avengers team, or you think he died?
No, he's joining the original Avengers team.
He's
He's not dead.
No.
He's not dead.
They didn't kill any of the original Thors
Yeah,
still alive.
like looking at logistics, he's not dead.
He's not dead. Based on how they did everything.
Listen, we'll give you the fact that Loki's dead. You predicted it. We have it documented.
I did.
That's all you get.
I did. I like that.
That's all you get.
Every
for,
single...
For those of you who don't know, we did a test run with audio.
Yeah, and
where Tyson literally says, I think a half hour before we left for the movie, he goes, Loki's gonna die.
Loki's gone.
First 5 minutes, and he did.
So we digress. Devin, continue.
So I think this is where it's like, this is the test where it's like we were supposed to get more and more separated. Like, oh, the MCU is actually growing. It's growing. It's growing. It's like it is. But let's pause that and let's get back to those characters that splintered apart and finish their arc.
Yeah.
And I think first off, I think Marvel's commitment to arcs and being like you can look at arcs in MCU movies and be like, I see it's very particular. And I didn't see this coming. I did not see this arc being a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was just growth. It's like it's just a straight line. No, it is an arc. You're going up. You're going away from the original plan, and then you're going right back to finalize it. You have to bring the team back together, and this is what unifies them. All this loss.
Yeah. So I have a prediction time a little bit.
Yeah. So before we move into do you have anything else to say about the plot or anything like that?
Just. One thing I'm very much looking forward to in the next movie is I'm super happy they did not kill Rocket Raccoon, because Rocket Raccoon was one of my favorite characters, and I wanted to see him. Like, it's Avengers
and
plus Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah,
like that's
totally lost.
It's Rocket. It's Rocket plus Rocket Raccoon and Nebula, and that is.
And honestly,
that's it.
I don't think anyone gives a shit about Nebula, but like with where they're going, in Marvel,
we need all the help that we can get.
In Feige, we trust. But before we do run into that, I will say that, like we said, let's just cap the end of the plot elements. The story. We will. The story ended in a very open way.
Yes.
Like, there is a lot that could happen.
It could go anywhere.
Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm usually very much the one that prides myself on predicting elements of the story. I had no clue we were going to lose half of the heroes. Yeah. More than half, even.
I had a feeling that they were going to do like something that you can come
now
back
that it
from.
happened,
That's what it felt like.
I think the people that got blinked out by the Infinity Gauntlet are all coming back.
Oh, definitely.
The people that
Gamora, I don't think is coming back, but you think she's going to come back in some weird.
I think it's either way. I can see it going either way.
Yeah, okay, so spilling over. Before we go into predictions, we end with Thanos.
Yes.
In the Gauntlet on that grassy plain in that little hut, smiling. Half the Avengers are gone. We don't know what's going on.
And no title. Do you want to say that?
And no, we don't get a spoiler to the title of the next film.
Yeah, we don't.
So
it just says and it says Thanos will return. It doesn't say Avengers.
Very particular. They did not say that the new title wouldn't be Avengers Ghost Rider.
Technically, it could still be Avengers Ghost Rider.
Oh god, Nicolas Cage just runs in and is dragging everybody that got blinked out with his chains from hell.
Dude, at some point during the thick of the action, Devin turned to me and goes, Ghost Rider could still show up, and I was like, at this point, I'll take him. I'll take him. We can take all the help we can get.
It's fucking it's Ghost Rider and Wesley Snipes' Blade.
Yeah. That's what you feel like during this movie. You feel like you'll do anything.
Anything can happen.
To in that moment, I would do anything to save some of these characters. Like, if I had a moment where Cap, I think the Cap is going to die.
Oh, Cap. So let's move into some prediction territory, because we did get left with this big open slate for the end of the movie. I've talked about it with Tyson a lot. Cap is gonna die. It's definitely a sign.
Contract things.
Well, contract things. Looking at the business dealings, it doesn't seem like Chris Evans wants to sign for another contract.
He wants to direct.
And at the same time, I think I'm okay with Cap being he's giving us some great
I can say I'm okay. All I want is not going to change the fact that this year, next year, this time, I'm going to cry like a baby. Yeah, it's not gonna help.
Let's be glad we don't have to wait 3 years for an Avengers movie. True. We are getting it in 1 year.
Yeah.
Bless them for working for being smart enough to be like, okay, we have everyone on set. Let's film both of these movies.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
What do you think?
This was one of the images of one of my favorite scenes.
Okay, stop. Go away. He just showed me a picture of Chris Evans with a mustache. Go away. What do you think for time between these two movies? You think
it's gonna
right
be
away?
almost immediate.
Almost immediate.
Almost immediate. I think you're gonna get maybe a couple hours. Tony might be back on Earth with Nebula,
Gotcha.
and they're gonna.
I think before we go into predictions, there is a important thing we're forgetting, and that is the post-credit scene.
So yeah, the post-credit scene, I thought was a little bit lackluster.
I mean, it's just that we didn't.
It's during like whatever. It's not.
It wasn't Ghost Rider.
It wasn't Ghost Rider. No Nicolas Cage. I'm sorry, guys. So when the Black Order comes down, it's after, it's when the planet starts to get eradicated, or half the population does. You just have Maria Hill and Nick Fury riding it, obviously in their like black Ford because sponsorships. They're riding through. Somebody in a car just like blinks out and it just like spins out in the middle of the road. They gotta stop, and Maria Hill starts to
get out of
the car.
And Nick Fury gets out of a device.
Yeah, he
presses it.
This little he gets out of this little homing device, and you see him start to waste. And right before he wastes away, first of all, mad credit if you guys are like a big Tarantino fan or a fan of Samuel L. Jackson in general. The classic mother.
It's the Samuel L. Jackson.
It's Samuel L. Jackson thing. Well, we didn't get it in the prequels, but whatever. The classic.
It's made for children.
So is this one.
Yeah, this is a Disney movie. There's no.
So as he's
you just hear mother, and then he disintegrates. But beforehand, he clicks this button, and you just see incoming.
It like drops to the ground,
and then you get the Captain Marvel symbol, who's not really Captain Marvel because Shazam is Captain Marvel, but right.
There was a big eye roll right there.
Yeah. So it's Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, also known as Miss Marvel, who is going to be getting a movie pretty soon. That's supposed to take
before Infinity War 2.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, Avengers 4. And which is probably going to take place in the 90s, so we know that
she will be a part of...
She's going to be a big part, because they lost the Wonder Woman race.
You know what's funny?
They lost the Wonder Woman.
You know what's funny? Like, and this obviously is not going to happen because they wouldn't put this in. It's like, oh no, actually she was one of the people that got disintegrated. Like, oops.
Like, it was the...
Can't we wish everybody back with the Dragon Balls? Like,
no, I think it's lost in both of us.
Oh, God.
Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, Dragon Ball Z? Nope.
Oh, man.
That goes beyond my head. I'm an Avatar fan. Avatar The Last Airbender.
You guys are not real people. I digress. So, that was I thought it, besides, like, getting the motherfucker, like, potential motherfucker, I thought it was a pretty lame...
What's just the thing? We already knew...
It was supposed to be simple, and I don't think they don't have a desire to top you. They just want to add to the story.
I don't know about you guys, like, I don't give a shit about Captain Marvel. Like,
I mean...
As a character...
Again, like I said in the car, I'm excited for whatever Marvel wants to do. Whatever you want.
I'm excited because what's her name was in the Community episode.
Brie Larson?
Brie Larson, right? She was in
What episode? Like
one where she's like
paintball. Like what's going on?
She's what's his name's girlfriend for like one episode.
She is Abed's girlfriend.
Yes, for one episode.
Holy shit!
Yes.
Nice.
So going back.
And
to
I mean, she was great in Room. Room was.
Yeah, I mean, Brie Larson wasn't she been nominated for the Academy Award?
I think she's been nominated.
She was in a Community episode. That's my.
She's gonna be in a movie with a Samuel L. Jackson who lacks an eye patch, so that's gonna be pretty interesting. So we got that scene. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about regarding the end credit scene?
The end credit scene? No.
Because I was going to move into...
actually, wait. Can I do one last thing on the movie itself? Sure. I have a ranked list of my favorite, most important characters.
Okay, yeah.
Well, before we do that, let's do
before we go to
predictions. No, it's not a prediction. Let's talk about Stanley's cameo.
Oh yeah,
Stanley's cameo. Yep.
So it was pretty classic. So you've seen in the trailer where Peter's fat friend Ned has to make a diversion. So
there's multiple Peters, so I think
Peter Parker.
Yeah. Peter Parker, Spider-Man is on the bus, and Ned causes a diversion in order for him to leave. So he does that, and you just Stan Lee goes, "What? You never seen a spaceship before?"
Yeah, it's really good.
And he's the bus driver.
The bus driver. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Stan Lee's the Watcher.
I'll watch it.
I don't care.
Well, he was in the Guardians 2.
Yeah, like with the Watchers.
Oh
yeah.
my god, no, he's the man on the wall. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Throwbacks to like Original Sin, which isn't that old, but.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that. Anything you guys want to say about his post-credit scene? Or his cameo?
His cameo is good.
Yeah,
I like his.
They've got his cameos filmed for next 300 years. Like we're good on his cameos.
So moving past the cameo. So predictions. What do you guys think? Over under 50%, we get an appearance or a cameo from either. I would say I think we'd be more likely to get the Fantastic Four.
I think there will be.
In Avengers
I
4.
think there will be talk.
If anything,
there will be an Easter egg. There will
if
be a throwaway
anything,
line.
it'll be the post-credit scene. They don't want to spend any of this movie disrupting it with these new characters.
You know,
they don't want to do that. It would be a post-credit scene. If anything, it would hurt the movie. You don't. No,
I think
this next movie is about the original Avengers having one final mission to save the universe.
I think they
don't need to have help. They don't need because they need to lead the MCU after the
Avengers. Yes.
No. You're missing my point. I'm saying from a financial standpoint, the MCU will take a hit after Avengers 4. Like
that's true.
It will. Like you're not gonna have. You're gonna lose interest because we've been building up a Thanos since the start.
Yeah.
So how do you keep that going? You want to introduce new characters, but I don't think you waste the perfect opportunity to have that final story with the Avengers for the sake of advertising for your next movie. You can do it in the post-credit scene.
For the most part,
can do it.
I agree with you. For the most part. The only thing is, I don't think they want to even waste a whole post-credit scene on it. I think it's still too early. I think it'll be a throwaway line.
I think we could also see some, we could see something very iconic or, like, relating back to the Schwarber scene. Post-credit scene, where it's something like that at the end of Avengers 4.
See, here's my theory, and here's what I want, and here's what will make sense. Marvel, hire me. I think and I hope that Thanos having full control of the Infinity Gauntlet with all of the stones in it, I think he's going to do something to crack space-time, and I think that they're going to reference potentially in an end credit scene for people going out into a spaceship. And they were launched out in the 60s, and they never came home. And there's going to be a tear in space and time.
You know, that could be good.
Using the Infinity Gauntlet, and they're going to pop out being like, what the fuck? They thought they'd be coming back in the 60s, and they have their powers. And I think...
Wait. Just to clarify.
I think, honestly, no. Here's what they're going to do. I think what they're going to do is they're going to have the spaceship land somewhere on Earth because of the crack in space-time. And you're just going to see like a pod open or a door open, and you're just going to see like their boots stepping out with a little bit of that blue or whatever.
Here's the thing. I think you're mostly right, except I don't think we'll have...
divert screen time.
What?
They don't want to divert. I think you could see like a ship like flying into the thing.
But here's the thing. I don't think they'll have... I'm just like story. Not even how they present it. I just don't... I think how they should do it is not that they've been the Fantastic Four for a while in the past.
They're not. No, I'm saying...
Like it's new.
They're fresh. It's new.
Oh,
I'm saying they have just gone on their expedition where they've been hit with the cosmic rays, and I think the cosmic rays will do something to pause them in space-time. And through the
Thanos,
Thanos having some sort of like spasm or like fit of anger or sadness, he's going to create a crack in space-time, and they're going to fall through it after being hit with the cosmic rays.
I'm 100% with
and they're going to step out, obviously. Like, I don't know if we're going to see post-credit scene. I think we're going to see. I don't think we're going to see reaction. I think we're going to see them step out of the
I like it.
This is my thing. You see the ship crash, and then you just see like an elastic arm just like poke through, like just shoot through the ceiling thing. Like the cat, like the top of like the glass thing, like it just like punches through.
I don't think that's the only thing.
I disagree. I think they tend to be very vague with these post-credit scenes.
Yeah.
Like, you get this cool little like. For example, with
but that's pretty vague. You don't see anybody. You just see an elastic hand just shoot through the thing.
I think
that's too direct.
It's too on the nose. Because if you notice, even with Infinity War, it's just like you see her symbol.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You don't see
on the little pager.
Although that's not. I guess,
or could you see something like this where you could see like the ship crash and then it like slowly pans over from a very wide angle and then you just see the 4 symbol.
No, because there's not going to be
a 4.
There's the Fantastic Four.
Oh no, this is like before the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just saying, like, how do we hit that?
They've been sent up for that expedition. They've been hit with the cosmic rays, and then
we have to think that at least there's something.
No, they're not the Fantastic Four.
I'm not saying they are the Fantastic Four, but we have to get some indication that we know what they are.
I just said I think that they're going to open the pod door is going to open. And either you're going to see a picture of 4 people's boots stepping out, or you're going to get like a glimmer on their suit, or you're going to see that light blue and the black. And I think that's going to be enough to tell people. I don't think you're going to see their faces immediately.
Oh, no.
It's a possibility.
I mean, I always forget that they've done Adam Warlock already. They've already hinted like very heavily at Adam Warlock.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've probably been building to make an offer on the Fox Marvel properties for years.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? So I mean I don't know if that's going to happen. Marvel, hire me. I will take 6 to 7 figures to write movies for you.
You want to do your list?
I want to go through my list of characters to watch. I think these, and I expect you guys to disagree.
I'm guessing. So just before we do your list, I'm guessing these are the least significant people in Thor.
There are many that will be least significant.
I think
there are
Thor will be significant.
Yes.
But besides that,
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Okay, so let me go into this.
Okay.
So at 10, I had this is just importance. Spider-Man,
Yes.
great character.
Great character, but he's just not. It's not his.
It's not his film. It's more so we watch how does he affect Iron Man?
I think it's more like
his
it's
effect
also
on
his
Iron Man
reactions to things.
and his effect on Iron Man. He's young, he's innocent, and you're watching him I want to go I'm going through space with you, and you're a kid.
Yeah, why?
And then 9 is Rocket Raccoon. I've talked a lot about Rocket.
I might.
Well, actually, there's a lot of characters.
The real problem is I made a big case for Rocket this entire thing.
Yeah,
I think that's really influencing you.
Yeah.
So I have Rocket at 9, where there's a lot of stuff where people play off him really well.
Yeah.
Star-Lord at 8, where he has the emotional moment with Thanos and with losing Gamora and some of the stuff that I've talked about earlier. Doctor Strange, where we see his arc and his 1 in 14 million thing, and him giving up the eye of Ogamoda, the time stone.
I think I would definitely put him down under. You can finish your list first.
6, I had Iron Man, where it's
he's just consistent.
He's consistent. He's
the film.
fantastic. 5, I had Vision, where Vision is there's the kill me. You should have killed me then, but I need Wanda. I need you to kill.
And these are your top 10 for this movie, right?
For this movie.
Yes.
Okay.
For number 4 is Gamora. I mean, the relationship between Thanos and Gamora is unmatched.
It was awesome.
It was. You're seeing Thanos loves the daughter.
It is the ultimate example of tough love.
Yes, and it's he has
Joe Jackson has nothing on this.
Number 3 is Scarlet Witch, where she has to make the ultimate sacrifice and actually kill. No, it's about the relationship. It's about
she has one of the most tasking parts of the film.
Acting heavy lifting, man.
Acting heavy lifting. That's as simple as it gets.
Just saying, if she had blown up Vision an hour earlier.
Yeah, but
yeah, there's a lot, but it's a movie. He needs to get the 6 and
It's the
Infinity
force
Sword.
of this movie.
Yeah.
Thor at number 2. I talked about the emotional.
You made a
moment.
pretty good case.
Thor was
You made a
fantastic.
good case.
I know.
You made a good case. Don't be weird about it. You made a good case.
And 1 is Thanos. Thanos is Josh Brolin steals the show. It's about him. It's about him. We humanize Thanos, but we still
You don't justify his.
You don't justify his actions. You humanize him, but you don't justify him.
I don't know if this was allied, so I don't know if I'm imagining it or if this was on purpose. But I find Thanos and Killmonger very similar in the way that Killmonger more so. But you're they really do a great job humanizing.
So here's the thing: when it comes to comic book villains in general, I feel besides the Joker. The best villains are the ones that have heroic aspirations.
Yes.
They think what they're doing is right.
Vulture.
Vulture thought what he was doing was right. Obviously,
with the exception of Baron Zemo.
Baron Zemo was
actually, he thinks he was right.
Well,
he's you guys are
it's
a
more
threat.
I think he's I think I'm justified in this.
Yes.
And he doesn't really.
Everyone I love.
He's
is
every
dead
day I
because
listen to
of
my
you
wife
guys.
on
a
voicemail.
The worst part is when you first hear it in the movie.
Or, yeah, you're just you're just listening to a voicemail, and you hear the same one again, and you're dang.
And then he deletes it, and he's sitting there my work is done. Look at you, works
and
then
he just thank you, Kevin Feige.
Yeah,
thank you for this. I really appreciate it.
Just saying, I would write your movies for you.
It's crazy.
I'll act in your movies for you.
So yes, Thanos is
hiring little black boy.
Honestly,
Thanos is amazing. Thanos is.
Josh Brolin's performance is fantastic, and the thing is, most people
there's
don't realize
confliction, which is the best part. But
and even though it's
him
CGI, because of the mocap,
really
it's his face. It's Josh Brolin making those facial expressions, the facial expressions, and the inflection of his voice. You can tell that he's kind of a sympathetic villain. His relationship with Gamora, you're just wow. Obviously she can't tell because of the position she's faced and she's been tortured, but we can see that
I gotta say
to compare how he treats her compared to how he for example treated Blue Girl.
No,
Nebula was just leaps and bounds better. So it's he loves her, and they build that slowly throughout the film until he kills her.
Yes.
But it's obviously she
because he has to give that up. That's what he's been working towards.
You can almost understand why she doesn't understand, because to her it's torture. But to him he's treating her better than everyone else.
Yes.
So it's I thought that was fantastic. Josh Brolin, sorry, I don't think your performance as Cable will even compare.
Yeah, the first thing I saw when I came out of the theater was the poster for Deadpool, and I was like, that feels so small. I mean, it's just it feels so inconsequential compared to what I just watched.
He goes from acquiring the 5 most powerful.
6.
of the six most powerful objects in the universe.
And I'm like,
searching for a fat boy.
I was like, you want a kid? We'll give you a kid. If you just want a kid, that's fine. You get one kid, sure, take the kid. I don't care.
Like the plot to Deadpool.
Yeah.
So we're past 2 hours.
We're past 2
hours.
This
conversation.
Jesus.
So let's get down to some of these like closing procedurals, unless you have something to hit real quick.
Nope.
Right.
So over under opening box office. So just to give it perspective, do you guys want to talk domestic or worldwide?
Let's do domestic.
Domestically, just to put it in perspective. Star Wars: The Force Awakens has the biggest domestic opening weekend box office numbers with about $248 million, followed by The Last Jedi, who it's 220, Jurassic World, 209,
and right now
the first Avengers 207.5, and then Black Panther at 202. So
right now the current tracking is 225.
225. So
I gotta say, hearing a lot of those other numbers, I said 240 earlier, like before the show, but I'm gonna say like 215, 220.
Really?
Oh, I think it's definitely gonna be over what they're
it's definitely gonna be over.
I think it's gonna be under.
I think we're gonna get 235.
245, 250.
245. So you think
215?
You think it's gonna do Force Awakens numbers?
I think it's gonna do Force Awakens numbers.
So it's because
this does not have the hype of Force
Awakens. You guys got to think about it just domestically, right? The Force Awakens is above The Last Jedi by $27 million.
I think it's going to be Force Awakens.
Actually, almost $28 million.
So
I don't think it's going to beat Force. I think it has it's going to beat The Last Jedi.
Where's Panther again?
Black Panther's 202.
202. I think it's going to do that. I really think so.
202 is.
No. I think it's gonna.
It's gonna be Black Panther.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be.
I think it's gonna be Black Panther minimally. Black Panther was a bigger deal when it came out than this.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: you've collected the Black Panther people. There's a sect of people that got into Marvel movies with the Black Panther.
I get what you're saying. Yes, but
you know what's kind of.
I factor that in, but I'm also factoring in people like not being super hyped for this.
You know what's also kind of significant too? Looking at these numbers, Black Panther opened at 202.03, which is huge. But it was screened opening weekend in 100 less theaters than The Force Awakens was its opening weekend. And even compared to the original Avengers, 300 less theaters its opening weekend. So that's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Putting that into perspective, I'm sure everyone and their mom is putting Infinity War in their theater.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to have a greater chance. I think we will see 235, 240. I think it's gonna hit second. Worldwide, you have let's see, the Fate of the Furious with $541 million.
That's crazy.
And then the Force Awakens with 529.
Is it like a Transformers movie really high? Because I feel like there is.
It's number 11 with 382, which is way more than I should have heard. However, just putting it in
the
perspective,
Chinese market loves Transformers.
Oh yeah, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows at 483. Last Jedi at 450. Where do you guys see this movie doing worldwide?
I think it's gonna do.
I think it's gonna do 500. 500,000. 500.
Wait, how much did the Deathly Hallows make?
483.
And what was that ranked?
Fourth. Next up is Jurassic World at 525. And no, I
can see
take
around
that
500.
It'll be Jurassic World.
I take that. It's gonna beat Jurassic World. I think. And
around 500.
Force Awakens worldwide is only $4 million. Actually, $3.5 million above Jurassic World.
Well, you have to understand, like, America has the Star Wars hype.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think Infinity War is worldwide. I think,
yeah.
like, the Chinese market for the Avengers is also
Let me just take a peek at these numbers.
And in Europe.
Yeah, I think it'll do 2 at least.
2?
Yeah.
200 worldwide?
No. I think it'll take the number 2 spot.
You think
which
it's
is how much? 500? I think $500 million.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be at least 530.
So in perspective, do you think it's gonna beat The Force Awakens in both the worldwide and domestic box office?
I do.
No.
I think at least worldwide, maybe domestic.
I'd agree that domestic is.
I think there's a better chance worldwide.
Worldwide,
I think worldwide
domestically, maybe not. So do you guys have any more comments on the box office?
Go see the. Actually, just completely not pertaining to that. Go see the movie. It's very good.
So good.
If you actually just sat through a 2+ hour movie, you did see the movie. You saw it already. So I don't.
Actually, yeah.
If you found this,
if you're still here, than you.
You clearly are going
clearly-
to watch the movie a lot.
you are
This is
interested.
almost as long as the actual movie
Yeah.
is. So
please don't watch this video. Go watch the movie.
Die.
Go watch the movie.
Yeah, let's just kill the channel. So go watch
This
the
is
movie.
devotion.
If
Yeah.
you have been keeping up with the Marvel Universe, this is a reward for keeping up with this for the last
18
10
movies?
years.
This is 19.
19.
Okay, this is 19.
If you haven't, start right now so that
wait,
you're
wait,
ready
let's do a
for
little math really quick.
Avengers 4.
Dude, it's 5:13 in the morning.
Give me a sec.
All right. So
Um,
while he's doing that, it's time for the dreaded rating. Out of 10, if you
Thumbs up.
Oh wait,
No.
sorry. Let me interrupt you. I finished math. I finished the math. So if you paid $15 a ticket on average, and to go see all 19 of these movies in theaters, you paid Disney $285.
I'm sorry.
Congratulations.
I went to see Black Panther 3 times in the theaters.
Okay.
I saw it twice.
I saw Last Jedi 4 times.
I
in
saw
theaters,
Thor
so
Ragnarok twice.
I
in
have you
theaters.
beat on that. I'm a Star Wars guru at.
No, and I'm just saying
best.
it's. Although I didn't see a lot of the early ones in theaters.
Yeah, and that's bar seeing theaters, all the streaming platforms and whatever. So let's do it, and I know this isn't final because me personally, and I know you guys too. I'm gonna go see this movie a second time. There was a lot going on. There's a lot to absorb. Let's just give it a tentative number out of 10. If you had to give it a number, based on what you're thinking right now, let's start with Tyson.
It's real good, guys. It's real good. Like a 9.3.
9.3.
9.5.
That's pretty reasonable. Devin.
I don't like to rate movies I just see too high, so I'm gonna give it an 8.25. I really enjoyed this movie. That's not.
I see what you're saying.
It's not a bad rating at all.
That's not a bad rating at all.
I will give it anywhere between an 8 to an 8.5. Here's why. I think it is very much like The Force Awakens, where if the movie following it doesn't answer some of the questions left, it depreciates the quality of this film, because that means either, and it will obviously depreciate the quality of the following film because they are not taking the time to do it. So tentatively, and only having seen this movie once, I would give it between an 8 and an 8.5. It's very solid. Go see it. I'm a very picky human being and very critical. So, to some people this might be a 10. This might be this we got a lot of things that we've always wanted to see, and things that we didn't know we wanted
What
to
I
see.
will say is I can't imagine someone walking out of the theater and be like, "That was fucking garbage."
Yeah.
I can't imagine that.
No, I think it would be like, I didn't get to spend any of the time with the characters that I wanted to spend with them. I didn't get to have a big scene where they all sat around the table and just bantered.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Can the last scene of the next movie please just be all 30 people just hanging out at the party? Please.
And they're all
please?
trying to lift the hammer again. Or
They're
some
all
shit.
trying to lift the hammer, please.
Just bringing Joss Whedon back for
It's
one
not.
scene.
It's gonna be the last scene of the next movie is gonna be a funeral.
So
It's gonna be a big Phantom Menace end of the.
okay,
You know what? There's going to be a funeral, but there's going to be a little uptick
So
at the end.
Tyson
Yeah,
is
half of
officially overtired. Liam
I'm
Neeson
so
is not
tired.
being set on fire. So let's wrap this up. If you guys had to summarize this movie in 3 words, go.
This is really bad podcast radio right now. Give me a sec. Give me a sec.
So,
What do you got?
So we'll have Tyson go.
I can do it in 5.
All right, go.
I'm okay with Cap's beard.
Oh,
It's
God.
that good. It made me okay with Cap's beard.
Oh, you should see how much he loves his current hairstyle.
I spent too much airtime talking about
All
Chris
right.
Evans' facial hair.
I got two. I'll say it and try to say it in 4 words. I'll actually combine a word into 1 word. I want Ghost Rider. I really want Ghost Rider. No, but if I were to sum this up into a couple words, it'd be
I think I would probably summarize this movie into.
Wait, what was
If
yours?
I can hyphenate this word, holy fuck. Moderate to severe depression, and existential crisis. This was a great movie, guys. The effects were great, the story was great, the characters were great. It was a well-written film, and James Cameron, eat your heart out.
I actually have a 3 really fucking depressing. Just
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah,
they kill half of them.
I
half
think
die.
the Earth's Mightiest Heroes have a lot to come back from for Avengers 4.
The best compliment I can pay for is I want to watch the whole cinematic universe.
Oh my god, in one
In
marathon
one thing, yeah.
We'll do it.
Nice
Guys,
to do it right before finals.
We are
Really
doing
good.
we are doing it right before Avengers 4 comes out. We're doing a movie marathon, and we'll throw that up next year. Alright guys, so we've reached the end of our discussion on Avengers Infinity War, and thank you for watching. Hope you all go out and see it and experience the movie for yourselves. If you want to catch Devin and Tyson and get all the updates about their show, don't forget to follow at Whatever the Show on Twitter. If you enjoyed the discussion between the three of us, leave a like and let us know in the comments so I make sure to have them back. We'll try to do opening night reviews for all of the biggest upcoming releases like Han Solo, Deadpool 2, Ant-Man, Mission Impossible, and more, so stay tuned. Also, I just wanted to give a quick thank you to Tyson and Devin for taking the time to chat on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. I mean, we are up at 5:30 right now. 5:30 a.m. We saw the movie tonight, and
I feel like late at night is peak, like review time. Like you get the juices flowing. We're all insanely tired.
Yeah,
I've been up since 8 o'clock because somebody wanted to wake me up and do a show this morning.
Yes, we were on the radio this morning. So yeah, thanks for having us on, Trevor.
It was a good time.
Yeah, the sun's already coming up.
So yeah, I definitely had a really good time talking about the movie, and I'm hoping for more to come. If you enjoyed our little talk on Infinity War, leave us a like and subscribe for more. Don't forget to hit that little bell to get notifications when the videos go up. Of course, if you want your fix for comics, subscribe to the channel. And as the summer rolls out, I'll try to drop videos weekly, so if you enjoy what you see here, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see each other in the next video from Dark Knight Nation.